よかった。ありがとうございます。
How's it going, everybody? I am Kyle from Fantasy Forge Studios, and we are back with another session of Adventures in Middle-earth, our D&D 5e campaign set in the world of Middle-earth, taking place between the years of The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. We are joined by all of our players today. Feanor, for the foreseeable future, he will have his lovely portrait up as opposed to see it his face. We're figured out computer issues, so it's all good. It's all good. But we are, back with another session, and the group is face-to-face with a pack of wargs, so that should be fun. But without further ado, let's go ahead and have our players introduce themselves, starting with Dain. Or Valineth.
Hey everyone, Valineth, yes. I'm Dain, or Forge here at Fantasy Forge. I play the character Valineth. He is a high elf from Rivendell, and he is a scholar class, meaning he heals. He rolled a natural 1 on his initiative for this battle, so luckily it's the healer who rolled a natural 1, so please don't die the rest of the party in one turn. So I'm excited though. Like, it's been a while since we've had combat, so I'm ready to get into it. It's gonna be good.
Absolutely, absolutely. I know a lot of the players, maybe not including Valineth, are good with swinging around big weapons and bonking things, and we haven't been doing so. So we can see what everyone's muster is worth here. But that brings us to one of those individuals, Theodric.
Hey everybody, I'm that Tubby Australian. I play Theodric Rimborn. He is our young man of Rohan. He is a slayer, which means he is the AME equivalent of a barbarian, kind of our frontline fighter, dealing lots of damage and taking lots of damage, but hopefully mitigating as much of that as possible. Yeah, we're gonna fight some wolves, and Theodric's gonna throw himself into the thick of it as always.
As always, I love it. Next, we have Jess.
Hello, I am Leah. I play Jessamine Sackville Baggins, our sneaky hobbit. Honestly, my plan is just run away and hide. Sounds like a good idea.
Sounds like a solid plan. There's some space to be able to do so. That's good.
I mean, okay, so the last time I got into a fight, I have to say it did not end well for my character, so I'm just trying to avoid that.
True. Fortunately for you, you've got multiple allies to be able to make diversions to be able to do that. Hopefully no one focuses attentions on you, so that's good. That's good. But yes, we have Jess. And finally, our last character is Feanor.
Yeah, Feanor is our Mirkwood Slayer, so much like Theodric, he's hopefully going to be absorbing the brunt of the damage here. And Feanor is going to have to use his experience fighting wargs to try and help everyone, and he's the only one with fire. It's not going to stay that way for very long. Soon, fire for everyone.
That is true. Why don't you go ahead and explain your previous experience for those who haven't seen Session 0? Just briefly.
In our introduction to Fëanor, him and his companions came across a boar that was just out in the woods. They grabbed this boar, cooked it up, ate it. It was delicious, amazing. The people of Gaelavira's town, which was Rowanhole, essentially captured us and brought us back to their town and were berating us because we basically signed a death warrant for their town because an intelligent Wog had basically been demanding tribute. In that whole fight, Fëanor actually learnt that Wargs are like scared of fire. So he's going to be using his fondness for fire. And for once, he's not burning down the Mirkwood, so he can go crazy.
Crazy.
But,
hopefully not too crazy.
Yes.
You don't want to burn down Beorn's lands either.
No, yeah, not too bad. But look, so if you gotta live. you gotta if that's what it takes. But no, hopefully we can work together and dispatch this group, and then hopefully flee before goblins show up, or be well fortified enough for when they do show up.
Exactly. And that is our cast of players. Everybody's here. Everybody's ready for some battle. Everybody's ready to rumble. I am Kyle, the lore master here, basically playing with and against these players, but most importantly, narrating their fates and the story that they are creating for themselves and the rest of Middle-earth. It's a joy. These players are amazing. Hopefully you think so too as we dive into one of our few combats that we've had in all 32 sessions of this. This is, I think, combat number 4, 5 maybe. So yeah, it's a doozy. So we're gonna go ahead.
Are we counting the tournament thing?
Sure. Yeah, why not? that was combat. So
okay. So that would be like
last round's
1,
combat.
2, 3, 4.
We get to do more stabbies.
5.
That's all that's important to me.
Yeah, I think this is number 6 off the top of my head.
Perfect. Combat number 6. So that's pretty good. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into a little bit of recap. So the company of adventurers making their way through Mirkwood and meeting up with Jess at the Easterly Inn and finishing up their quest to escort Baldur and Belgo, merchants from Esgaroth, down to Woodman Town. They successfully completed that, and with that being the case, they were invited to the Folkmoot, a giant greeting at the height of summer, or at the end of summer, of all the Woodman communities, and they were invited to do so. And so at the end of summer, they did. They made their way all the way down to Rosgabel, where Radagast is famously known to live, and they all attended. Upon attendance, they were able to add a couple new woodmen to communities to the woodmen, one of which being those of the East Bite from Saywin, and then the other one being Mogdred, which they found out Mogdred is basically the largest edgelord out of everybody. He was a slave in the pits of Dol Guldur, and he now basically runs a tower called Tyrant's Hill. And he has a community of basically warriors that he had. Basically, he came to this Folkmoot in order to demand entry into it, and after much deliberation and kind of figuring out the perils of his past, and he enjoyed some nice chicken soup, and everything kind of accumulated into a pretty split vote of allowing Mogdred and the people of Tyrant's Hill to join the people of the Woodmen. And with that, as they were kind of dismissing all of that, Shadrach, who is the loyal dog, or maybe the hobbits are the loyal compatriots of Shadrach, but Shadrach came rushing down with a letter from Dodie Brandybuck, who had said from the Easterly Inn that his brother Dindy had gone missing or has not replied in a timely enough manner, and so he is seeking adventurers to be able to help search out his brother. And so, answering the call, our company of heroes are doing just that. They have made their way out of Rosgabel all the way up north towards the old ford next to the Anduin, and they had picked up a trail of wargs who had apparently been on their trail too, kind of, with goblins, and this is now the confrontation of such. And so without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into some combat. And so, with that being the case, we already rolled for initiative with Broderick and Nim both getting natural 20s on their initiative rolls. And so their respective players will be controlling them doing that. But we have rolled for initiative, ending with Valinith, who has rolled a natural 1. But the group is surrounded by what looks to be 2 wolves and a warg. Wargs are a large, monstrous creature, much bigger than wolves and much more intelligent. And so with that being the case, Broderick, it is his turn. What is he going to be doing, Theodric?
Broderick is... Let's see.
So for those who don't know, Broderick is a rider of Rohan, a warhorse. And so he's had his fair share of combat in his life. And so he's not a scared little pony. We'll see. Maybe he is.
Broderick is going to... Actually, he wouldn't be able to move through between Jessamine and Nympharion because
that is correct.
Yeah? Okay. Broderick is going to move over here to stand beside Theodric. And he is going to... Can horses hold actions?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay. Yeah, he's gonna hold a hooves attack for if that warg decides to get nasty and getting close.
Perfect. Yeah, so Broderick, knowing kind of danger and feeling like he needs to be close to his master for whatever his master heeds, rushes over right next to Theodric, basically stomping the ground, trying to intimidate this warg that is slowly approaching, which brings us to Nim.
Okay, Nim is actually probably just going to move just even closer to Feanor. Feanor's just going to give like a small like whistle, just with his mouth, not using the actual whistle, to like call him closer. And yeah, Nim's more or less just going to do the same thing. We're kind of like holding this main line against these 2 wolves that are coming from this side.
Yes, and as Nim does, Nim has faced a fair share of combat with you up until this point, Feanor, and you see with your torch lit, just outside of within the shadows, 2 wolves creeping in towards you, hunched low to the ground, slowly creeping in as if to figure out a way to be able to take down their next meal. Which brings us to Feanor.
Okay, Feanor is seeing what's going on. Okay, the first thing we need to do is get as many torches as possible. Try to avoid setting larger fires. The smell of the smoke will carry over to the goblins. But Feanor is basically going to hand Jess his torch and say, light 3 more of these. But other than that, he is just going to turn around and draw out his great spear, and he is going to wait.
Perfect. Holding action.
Holding his action for when something comes within the 5 feet of him, within 10 feet of him, he's going to attack it.
Perfect.
Sorry, and
yes.
yeah, sorry, go on. No, it's all good.
Absolutely. And so, just kind of to paint a little picture for everybody, all of the players, it is pretty dark in this general area. Fortunately, with Feanor's torch, it lights up a decent amount, so you can just see these wargs. It lights basically a kind of a cone, or not cone, like a circle kind of sphere in like this general direction, which means that this warg over here is technically to the shadows, and you can't completely see him. Just FYI. So,
part of why I gave it to Jess, because she's the most central person.
Perfect. And with that, you see that these wolves, they begin creeping up, starting almost to kind of pace back and forth as if to attempt to gain an upper hand of some kind of flanking. But you can see that they are creeping in the shadows. One of them, you can hear snarls. And the other one sits back and lets out a high-pitched howl. And then as it jumps in order to attempt to go for Valineth. This other one takes the opportunity to go in actually for Nim. So this first one is going to go ahead and make his attack. And as he enters the light, Valineth, I'm going to have you, Jess, and Theodric. I'm going to have you make perception checks.
Perception.
Okay. That's okay because I'm so good at those.
Hey, me
Everyone
too.
is.
I got an 11.
7.
Okay.
That is a 17,
17.
for Valineth.
Valineth, you see as he lunges towards you, this giant gaping maw. It's all you can do to kind of brace for impact as he kind of barrels into you, but you can tell that as he entered the light, he's squinting as if the light from the torches are just exceedingly bright, and he doesn't seem to be looking as he's making his strike. He's just pouncing at you blindly. And with that, he is going to go ahead and make his attack against you.
Is he within 10 feet of me?
Technically, yes, he is within 10 feet.
Can I attempt to hit him before he
You absolutely
does
can.
that? Okay.
What did Valineth do to incur the rage of the wolves? Valineth is
He was-
just
he
digging
was
through his
too
backpack.
It's too slow on the draw. He got a 9.
9. A 9 is unfortunately not going to hit, as it jumps in and barrels into Valineth. However, Valineth, it is going to make its bite attack against you, and that is going to be a 12. Does that hit?
Nope. That does not hit.
So again, closing his eyes, he jumps and he essentially hits basically like it kind of like headbutts you, but his mouth and his maw completely miss you as you kind of sidestep him, and he looks around and he looks up at the torch with absolute hatred in his eyes. With that being the case, this next wolf is going to be making an attack at Nim. Nim is very ready. If Nim wants to do something with his held action, he absolutely can.
Nim is just going to try and do his hoof attack.
Perfect.
And he gets a dirty 20.
That'll definitely hit. Go ahead and roll for damage.
Okay, sweet. He deals 9 damage.
Snap. Right, and with that, this wolf comes in order to bite, but Nim basically winds up on his back 2 legs and begins just stomping at the ground in front of him, hitting the wolf multiple times in the process, clearly bludgeoning it pretty well. The wolf is going to go ahead and make its attack. Does a 12 hit?
It hits.
And with that, it's able to get a small little bite off at the legs of this creature. And that is going to be 9 points of piercing damage as it is able to chomp down on one of his legs, causing some pretty nasty bleeding. But with that being the case, this whole flank is pretty preoccupied. You begin to hear, somewhere off in the distance, the sound of thunder. Almost like storm clouds. Doesn't seem to be looming. It seems to be looming in the far, far off distance. But it adds to a lot of the kind of climax of the battle, as within the thunder strikes, Theodric and Jess, the two of you are able to see the face of a giant black warg. Ignore the fact that he's not black here, but a giant black warg. And he is hunched over, almost like kind of like his the upper shoulder blades to have this giant arc, and he easily rises probably a good 2, maybe 3 feet taller than the wolves that are attacking your companions from the other side. He says, "What are you doing out here? A hobbit, elves, and a man from the south. This'll be a meal to remember. As he begins to immediately charge right into you, Theodric. Baradrock will be able to make his opportunity attack.
Okay. How do I do that?
Roll that sucker.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how to do it on Baradrock.
Just
just a
roll a
D20.
d20 and then just add whatever it
Yeah.
is. That's what I used to do for Rufus. Good boy.
Where we go? D20. Oh no. Plus, will a 6 hit?
A 6 will not hit. Yeah, Baradrock, he reels up, looking towards you to see his, basically his master getting assaulted. He winds up and he's going down with one single stomp, which the warg skillfully dodges out. And as this warg confronts you, Theodric, this thing is huge, and it barrels into you with its, basically its jaws wide open. And it's going to be making an attack. Fortunately, there is firelight. Is a very fortunate. Is a 13 going to hit?
No.
All right, so he it basically bites right into your shield as you're able to not push him back completely, but able to hold your ground against this giant warg. You can smell this almost kind of decay coming from his mouth, as if he has been freshly eating something, or been basically devouring corpses that have been, kind of rotting and sitting there for quite some time. I'm gonna have Feanor and Jess make perception checks for me.
Okay.
The two that are not engaged in combat.
It repeated on an 18 for like
That's-
3 full seconds.
That's
Hadn't
better
it?
than last time.
Okay. Well,
I got a 9.
9. The thunder begins to drown out. It's not, again, coming so fast. It's coming from the west, but it is giving shimmers of eerie shadows coming from the woods. You don't know if they are trees, rocks, or other creatures, but you are currently embroiled in this kind of tempest in combat and unable to really think too much about the possibility of other creatures maybe looming in the wood. And from what you can see, none have done so yet. But that brings us to Theodric.
Okay. Am I still muted?
Nope, you're good.
Nope. Okay. Theodric, upon facing a warg, it isn't the first time he's seen a warg.
It is not.
The last time he saw one was when he was 8 years old, and his father died slaying one. So Theodric holds a special place of hate in his heart for wargs. Well, not so much a hate, but a disdain. So upon facing one of these and having it essentially talk shit to his face, he is
smell like
going
it,
to...
too.
Yes, right? He is going to... His first thought is immediately to kill it. Just this kind of overpowering rage. But then Lord Heartfast's words start to resonate in it. He starts to remember them and remember your death and everything like that. And with it, he is going to try and settle and enter his rage without any of the negative effects, hopefully.
Make a wisdom saving throw for me. This can be at a +1.
I believe you. I believe in you.
That is a 9.
9.
Ooh.
You begin to basically steady yourself as you push back this the teeth of this warg. Your remembering of your father comes back, and it begins to cloud you in a moment of darkness. And all you can think of is, I must protect, I must protect, I must protect. You begin to succumb to it to a degree, but you are enraged.
And while I'm obviously angry, I'm going to lash out at it with my longsword.
Perfect. Go ahead and roll your attack.
That is a 17.
All right. Mr. 17 will for sure hit. Go ahead and roll for damage.
Okay. That is, give me a sec. 4.
Right. And you do so. You boom.
Oh,
it hits your
wait,
shield.
wait. Do I get something for my rage? What? That adds damage, doesn't
Yeah.
it, as well? +2.
Yeah.
Plus
Okay,
2
so-
to damage rolls.
So 6. 6. Sorry.
It's been a while since we've done combat.
True.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
This warg hits. You let out this small kind of grumble of rage as you just as you slash down into its head, and you make a clear cut right across kind of the crest of its head, and it looks at you and says, "My teeth bite much harder than that." And he essentially, yeah, he's just gonna let you do that. Jess, it is your turn.
Oh, goody. Okay, so I'm holding a torch. Faina has told me to light 3 more, but I actually don't have any more.
No.
So can I? Hey, this is on your poor planning, not mine. Can I just
Fair.
like stick it in the ground so it'll stay
Oh, yeah.
stuck?
Yeah, I'm gonna have
Yeah.
you make an athletics check for me to do so.
Okay. Good thing I'm so good at athletics.
I can't wait for this to
Okay.
Is it a nat one?
It's not that. It's not
Okay,
that.
that's good.
I rolled a 2 with a -2. Okay, it's 0.
You basically take this torch in order to try to find a decently muddy spot to place it down into, but you hit a rock and it slips and it falls on the ground and it begins to smolder. It's not completely out.
Okay.
But you are
I'm just gonna-
close to the banks of the Anduin, just FYI. So this
I
thing's
am
going
just
out.
gonna devote the rest of my turn to trying to make that fire bigger.
Okay, you're able to pick it up, and with it firmly in your grasp, you're able to rekindle it. So no worries for the rest of your turn there.
Okay.
That brings us to
Um,
Valinith, however.
Cool.
Oh, I got my turn skipped, didn't I?
Yep.
And Valinus could be like, oh, he's looking through his. He was initially just looking through his bag, seeing if he could get any torches or any light, and then a warg pounces on him, and so he's just trying to avoid damage and dipping and diving and dodging the first turn.
Don't worry, Valinith, take your time, I say while stabbing.
Yeah, literally.
Just a moment, Feanor. Just a moment. I'm looking for the torches.
I appreciate assist. Ah!
And with that, it brings us back to Baradarok. What is Baradarok doing at this moment?
Baradarok is going to lash out at the warg with a hoof kick again.
All right.
With his hoovesies. Does a 14 hit.
14 will hit.
Excellent. Now, how do I do damage? That is 2d6 plus 3. Okay.
Ooh, he hits hard.
Yep.
I guess that would hurt, getting trampled on by a horse.
Okay. That is a 6.
And with that, Baradarok, boom, 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 and is able to basically the hindquarters of this warg stomping down, and he wheels around, still within striking distance of both of you, but he looks back and forth and he grumbles. Woo! He lets out this high-pitched call again, much deeper, but he seems in a slight panic. Which brings us to Nim. What is Nim doing in this moment?
Nim is actually going to hold an action for a moment. So I'll tell you, like Nim's just basically gonna wait for their turn in the order after Fainal.
Perfect. Which brings us to Feanor. So,
Feanor is going to run down to within 5 feet of the wolf,
okay.
activate his rage, and then move 5 feet away to invoke an opportunity attack.
Right. Invoke your rage. You do so.
Yeah.
You make your way back. He's making an opportunity attack against you.
Cool.
Basically you run down, and he catches you out of the corner of your eye, and he sees the fire. He sees the other wolf glaring at you with the fire, and he turns around, and he, as if to basically catch you and nip you and catch you off guard. Ooh, thank God for that freaking disadvantage. That would have been a nat 20. So that's good. That's gonna be a 12, which I assume misses.
No, it misses. Okay, cool. Feanor is now going to try and stab it with his great spear.
Perfect. Yeah, go ahead and roll damage. Or not roll damage, roll attack.
Does an 11 hit?
11 will not hit. You lash out in order to hit him. It's a little bit difficult to wield a great spear with one arm while you have a torch. So, whoosh, and it is able to dodge.
No, yeah. Now for Nim's turn, Nim is actually going to charge at the other wolf, because this wolf has used its opportunity attack, and is going to full-on charge in it from the side with like full flanking it.
All right, let me like the one that you are attacking, like this.
No, the one that's near Valineth. He wants to attack it from the side.
All right, give me 1 second. I think there is it has to be 20 feet in a straight line.
Does that include the square that the enemy is in?
20 feet in a straight line towards the target. So, like, for example, like, if he went here, 5, 10, 15, 20, basically it has to be, like, the one in front, since it's an antler attack, basically charging it like that. You can attempt to move him, down, because he's got 50 feet of movement, so 5, 10... I don't know how that's going to happen this turn. 5, 10, 35, 40, 45, 50. You could probably do that. Yep.
Yeah, I want to do that. And Nim is going to charge into him.
So
cool.
the long way around, Nim charges out, taking the opportunity for this wolf biting his compatriot, or attempting to. He runs out, backs up, and antlers forward, full charge into the side of this wolf. Go ahead and roll for your attack.
And is that an advantage because it is a full flank, because it's engaged?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, nice. Oh, come on. What's happening with my rolls? Okay. Does a 12 hit?
12 does not hit.
God damn.
Nim
good.
backs up, and the warg is able to rear its hindquarters around and just and growl as the two of you are doing your thing. And with that, you begin to hear the call of more wolves. It is very audible at this point, but you are unable to see at this moment. And with that being the case, that's going to bring up the wolves' turn. Merely escaping this just, full-on charge, these wolves are going to attempt to attack the creatures that were attacking them. So this one's going to go ahead and attempt to smack Nim, and this one is going to close the gap in order to attack you. So the one against Nim is going to go ahead and make his attack roll. Fortunately, they are still in torchlight, and so the one against Nim, that is going to be a 10, which I'm assuming doesn't hit.
It does not.
And then this one against you, Feanor, is going to 14. Does that hit?
It does not.
All right, and so both of them, and it's a fierce battle, close, hand-to-hand combat, as it were. Oh no, my internet's struggle bugging. But we're good. That's gonna go ahead and bring us to. Oh my gosh, I think my internet just cut out. Give me 1 second. I'm directly tethered with my streaming computer, so I think we're okay. So no worries.
Yeah, we can still hear you and stuff, so.
Okay. So Theater of the Mind. This black warg is going to attempt to disengage from you, Theodric. Which he is, gonna use his bonus action to do that. So he's gonna disengage. Or action, it's an action, sorry. He's gonna use his action to do that. He's gonna move back a solid 5 feet.
Does disengage work for everyone within their area, or is it just from one person?
Oh, that is a really freaking good question.
I believe it's up to the DM because it really depends on what game you're doing. Because it's like, there's like a small opening, so it's like, does everyone get a chance to attack that small opening, or does only one person capitalize?
Yeah.
on it?
I would say in this case, the last we heard, he was facing off against both you and Baradrock, and so he's attempting to move away from both you and Baradrock. So he's going to successfully disengage. He's going to run back 10 feet, not super duper far. But as he does so, he is going to basically whisper, "Where is that filthy rat?" And he begins to call out again in a high-pitched howl. Which brings us to you, Theodric.
Okay. Well, Theodric is this black warg still in torchlight from Jessamine?
No, he creeped out of so 20 feet back would have crept him out of distance of that torchlight.
Okay.
So he's basically retreated back behind that, like the furthest reaches of it, and he's basically just on the outside of it.
You can like see his eyes reflected in the light.
of.
It's like that's like
Okay. Theodric's not going to let him get away, so Theodric is going to move forward those 10 feet and take an attack at this warg.
All right, yeah, you absolutely do so. So he's going to 20. So
Does that's not going to hit. I don't have any inspiration. Okay, I missed. I don't even need to ask. That's a whiff.
yeah,
I only got a 6.
yeah. So you go as he dodges over to the side. Welcome to the shadows. As he attempts to, well, he withheld his action, so he's gonna bite you. Actually, no, that was his action, disengage. I lied. He's not gonna bite you. Which brings
magic
us,
walk.
yeah, magic to Jess. What are you gonna do, Jess? You have firm holding of your torch. You are good. How are you positioning yourself? What are you going to do in this moment?
Okay, let me see. I'm a little bit scattered at the moment. You know what I'm gonna do? How far does the torchlight actually carry right now?
I really
Isn't it
don't like squares.
15 feet?
Is it like what?
Yeah. Isn't it 15 feet for a torch?
I think so.
we have the.
Bright light,
radius?
and then a little like then it's a
So
little
it's like
bit
here.
of dim.
Basically, from where you are, it's like here. in general radius.
Providing bright light in a 20-foot radius and dim light for an additional 20. So everything
Okay,
within
perfect.
40
I don't
feet
even have to make
is dim.
that much. Okay, so
Mhm.
I'm just gonna group forward like a couple of squares. Is what I'm gonna do. Yeah. So the log is within
You
torchlight,
legend.
and then I'm going to just yell, "Theodric!" And then I'm gonna just throw a dagger.
I like
so...
it.
I'm
Throw that
assuming the
dagger.
dagger's being thrown at the
Theodric
wall.
can't catch daggers. No. Yeah.
I've got a great shield in one hand and a longsword in the other. I have no, unless I'm gonna catch it in my mouth like a circus
but
guy.
why?
Like a Rufus.
Oh, that's why I didn't have.
I don't remember him catching any knives in his mouth.
That's true. That sounds
We would have
more like
kept
a
him
Shadrach
around if we
thing.
would have done that.
No, Shadrach will pull out a knife to stab someone.
Okay, perfect.
Not even with this mouth, this paw.
Ta-da.
Show us this big damage, Jessamine.
What was the
I got a 7.
Okay, so you throw the dagger over its head and off into the distance.
No.
It tinked around somewhere over here.
Okay.
Just over his head.
Okay, I'm just gonna like freeze for a second, like, oh no.
You still have your torch. I want to remind everybody, torches can be used as weapons. They're bludgeoning, and they get additional bonus fire damage as well. Just FYI, if you ever are in a tight spot.
It's not a finesse weapon though, so you have
That's
to.
true.
Would you have
It's
to
your
use
strength. Basically, it's your strength bonus, and then 1d4 fire damage.
Okay.
I have a negative strength, so
I have just
that would go badly for me.
I've just used the inspiration. I'm giving that to Jessamine for her to use whenever she wants.
Aww, okay.
Unfortunately,
Am I gonna
too
use
late
it
for
when I
too late for the
wish?
dagger.
I know. This is for later.
Perfect.
Thank you. So I'd
You're
rather
welcome.
not have to lose
Love it.
daggers if I do.
It's nice to have that in the back pocket.
Yeah. Okay. Let me just double check. My cunning action, disengage or hide. Okay. That's not gonna happen. So. Yeah, I'm just gonna stay where I am, I think, and do not much.
Perfect. And with that, the group of you are able to hear.
Isinfo's on the hunt! Come on, you maggots, let's go!
You hear that off in the distance. You can't tell how far off it is, but it is in the distance. And with that, that's going to bring us down to Valinor.
All right, so here's my question. Taking torches out, would that be an action or would that be a bonus
If it's in your
action?
backpack, yes, it would be an action to do so.
All right. He's not going to do that then, and he's just going to pull out his bow and shoot at the warg by Feanor. He's going to be like, Feanor, I got you. Do not worry, my friend. And he's going to shoot an arrow towards that warg.
Perfect. Yeah.
Mhm.
I would say because last turn you had the skip of your turn, but you said you were rifling through your bag. I'm gonna allow you, if you wanted to get a torch at that point, to have a torch, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's lit. Just
That's
FYI.
fine. That's okay.
So-
Yeah, I was just wondering if I had got one. That's fine. So it's just like a torch. It's on the ground. It's not like anywhere. Like
5
not
feet
holding,
within
obviously,
you.
I
It's
have
in
to-
reach and distance. I gotcha.
yeah, it's in with reaching distance. Okay, and I'm gonna shoot at the warg near Feanor down here.
All right, go ahead and roll
So-
your attack.
Okay.
You see Feanor just kind of back and forth, like with his torch and his spear in one hand.
That's a 16 to
Ooh.
hit.
A 16
Spicy.
will hit. Go ahead and roll for damage.
Come on, something good. Give us that crit.
That is max damage, 8.
Ooh,
8 damage. Pew!
Max damage. Well done.
Yeah.
And with that, you, boom, this arrow, and it hits right into the side of the warg. You hear kind of it like squeal as it just impacts right around the shoulder area on the side. Yeah, it does not look so happy. And with that, with the movement, Jess, of you are able to see just off in the distance glowing eyes.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
And with that, we're gonna go ahead and move into the top combat. Baradorok, what is he doing?
Roderick is my most loyal boy, so he's gonna come up and he is going to help me. So, boop, 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 boop. And we're gonna try and beat up that warg again.
Hoof tack. Yeah, and you see this black warg and just as the two of you come bearing down on it, chasing it in its retreat.
Does a 14 hit?
A 14 will hit.
Okay, and that is 2d6. Oh, my d6 is gone. There we go. Plus 3, so 8 damage.
And with that, Baradorok comes boom, 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 and begins just stomping it again, as horses do. It's a scary sight, and Isenfo's basically like not quite prone on the ground, but like on the ground, like trying to get some kind of grasp in order to find some escape route.
Help me! I said help me!
As you hear a wolf coming in from behind. Which brings us to Nim. What is Nim doing in this moment?
Nim's just gonna try and stomp this wolf again, the one that's right next to
Animal companions doing what animal companions do.
If only Rufus was here.
He's dead by
But
now.
alas.
No,
Wait,
he
he had-
would,
what,
he
4
would, he
HP?
would be saving all of us.
He had 4 HP.
That's true.
Okay, so
Right.
there's
I haven't
a
taken any
24
damage yet.
True.
There's a 24 hit.
Oh yeah, that's gonna really hit.
Okay. For 8 damage.
And with that, Nim, missing the charge from his horns and seeing Valineth over kind of preoccupied, Nim just stomping down on this wolf. The wolf goes and is beginning to like try to attempt to bite at these legs as they come stomping down upon him. Which Feanor, it is your turn.
Yeah, I'm just gonna try and attack this wolf in front of me again. Try and just like keep pressing on to try and finish it off so that we can flee. Does a 17 hit?
Oh yeah, it does.
I deal 8 damage to it.
And with your great spear, you just slash it basically right upside the side of the face, kind of in this like arcing like bottom top motion. You just, and you catch it, and you actually cut a big chunk of its cheek off, revealing these like horrible fangs as it begins squealing in pain.
Can I attempt to intimidate it?
As bonus action, absolutely.
Feanor's just gonna go and growl at it.
Make an intimidation check for me.
A 14.
14. And with that, that's going to be contested. Let's see. And with that, it growls back. As just this blood begins pouring out the side of its mouth. It's horrible, but it's standing firm, as if to wait for something. Which brings us to...
That's not a good sign.
Which brings us to the wolves. And they, as they are continuing to fight, you see that, well, you don't see, but you hear the sound of approaching voices. One particular voice.
Come on, you bilge rats! Let's get him. Oh, it's gonna be a good feast tonight.
And out into basically sight, you see this goblin riding on top of a wolf, and it begins to make its way down.
Ooh, there's a juicy one.
The wolf is going to engage Nim. There is a goblin on top of him. So he's going to go ahead and make his attack. He enters the torchlight, he is phased by it, but with his other companion next to him, it cancels out. But unfortunately, that is a natural 20 for the hit, which means maximum damage is going to be, that's going to be 14 piercing damage.
Yeah, Nim's down.
And Nim goes down. He is an NPC, so he has death saves as the wolf jumps up and basically gouges into the neck of Nim. But this sends the goblin flying off, and he is fallen prone on the side of the road. And the warg, over with basically blood dripping out of his jaws, looks at you, Feanor. This other warg, seeing that happen, is going to go ahead and make an attack against Valineth. And that is going to be a 21 to hit.
Oh yeah,
20.
that hits. It's
And
well.
that is going to be 9 points of piercing
Oh.
damage as he just bites into the side of you. Which means the next one, Feanor, that's attacking Feanor, is going to make his strikes. This is at disadvantage, and he horribly misses. And then the final one is this wolf that comes up along the side, and attempts to bite into Baradrock. It is outside of the bright flame, so it's going to be made normal, which doesn't matter unless I'm mistaken. It does a 10 hit. Can't hear you, but I saw the mouthing
no. No.
Okay.
Nope.
Baradrock
is a bigger boy.
He is a big boy. Which brings us to the black warg. And the warg goes,
Self-preservation to live another day.
and he's going to go ahead and disengage.
Is he fleeing the battle or just disengaging?
He's disengaging, and basically he's not outright running away. He's kind of covering his tracks as if just like looking back to see if anything's coming to follow. But he has not outright fled. And you hear him call out,
Get him! Get him!
And yeah, with that, we're gonna go ahead and jump down to Theodric. It's your turn.
Okay, you can't move diagonally, like that still counts as 10 feet of movement, doesn't
Diagonally is 10 feet, yes.
it? Okay, okay,
Hence the reason I kind of
10,
prefer hexes
15,
instead of
20.
squares.
25, hang on. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, oh, I'm just too... Okay,
Remember, you may be able to dash, but then you don't get your attack, but you will be there for the next round. To just be like fully set up to attack.
See, I would, but I don't want to leave Jessamine completely alone.
She's got
over
brown
here.
horse.
I got.
Yeah,
Don't even worry about me.
no.
Full
Okay.
HP, she's good.
In fact, he's going to move up 10 feet
Mm.
to attack the wolf that just attacked Baradrock.
Perfect. Go ahead and make an
So,
attack.
with my handy dandy longsword, that is... oh, that's not going to hit. That's a 6.
And so you
I whiffed.
whiff as it gradually, as you make your way further and further away from Jess, and within the shadow of Baradrock, this wolf is clinging to the shadows as your blade just misses altogether. Jess, though, it is your turn.
Okay, perfect. Okay, there. Perfect. Now, rules clarification. Because I am a small creature, can I occupy the same space as another creature?
I think you can, maybe. I believe in...
You can pass through someone as difficult terrain, but I don't know if you can stand in their space.
Yeah,
that's
'cause
actually...
the halflings have special stuff.
Yeah, so
Oh,
there's
okay, fair
there's
enough.
a special cultural like feature that you can have. I think it's an unlockable
Yeah, right,
feature.
sure.
though.
Oh no, hang on. Hobbit nimbleness.
Do you have that currently?
Yes. Wait.
Because I know that there's some things
Yeah,
that...
because it's a racial thing. So it says base speed is 25 feet. Resilient, you have advantage on saving throws against corruption. And Hobbit nimbleness, you can move through the space of any creature who is at least one size larger than you.
So you can move through. As far as occupying, that is a special feature that's cultural
That's okay.
feature
That's
that you
all
can
I need to know. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. That's 15, 20. Just short. Nope, because that's okay, because I can use a bonus action to dash. Okay, so I'm gonna go up to here. Can I just pass the torch to Theodric so I could have both hands free?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, And then I'm going to use my dash
Theodric
action to
is
get
carrying a
extra
shield,
movement.
however, so you're gonna have to drop either your sword or your shield, Theodric.
I'm just gonna poke my sword into the ground next to me because I'm not giving up that sweet AC for for a torch.
Sounds good.
That's honestly very fair. And then I'm gonna use a dash action. I'm gonna duck underneath Broderick here, and I'm going to unleash the bow.
You have a bow? So you're learning
Yes.
new things. Learning new things.
I have always had a bow. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's been hiding in the big cooking backpack.
Yeah, that's not a good roll. 8.
Who are you aiming that at?
The wog.
Warg. Yeah, that does not hit, unfortunately. As the arrow zooms off into the distance.
Oof.
And with that, that brings us down to this creature. He writhes around, spends half of his movement, he gets up.
What am I missing? Oh, travelers on the road.
As he's going to... 15, just... Oh, no. He's not able to make combat, because he spent half his movement.
Nice.
Yeah, it's small creatures, they're not super fast, but oh well. He's going to look at you, Theodric. Feanor. I don't know if you necessarily see him approaching, but he goes,
Haven't tasted elf in quite a while.
before he is going to go, and with that,
Oh, I can see it before I can smell it before I see it.
and you can hear some goblin voices off in the distance as well. And that is going to bring us to Valentin.
It's a Valentin. I don't know if this is like even if we're gonna be even able to escape this, especially with Nim there. I mean, do we want to abandon Nim and just run? Because that's the thing. Valenith, seeing the dire situation that is him taking a big old bite from the one warg who hit him, he is just thinking right now about saving his friends, and so he is just gonna shoot at the same warg that Feanor's attacking.
Perfect.
So that will be, please be good. That's a natural 20 for 24. So that's max damage, which is 8 damage to that.
You take your bow, and as it is descending upon Feanor, you take it, you shoot it right through the neck, and it just falls kerplunks on the ground. And this is a dead wolf.
Level up. Valenith has achieved warg killing status. Nice.
Sweet. Which brings
That's
us
what he
to
does.
the top of combat. Broderick, what are you doing?
Before you do that, do you want to roll a d16?
Heck yeah,
Yes.
roll a D16. That's a nat 1.
Heck
Okay,
yeah.
no
Roll a
negatives.
Okay.
I could write it in where it's like everybody loses. No, just kidding.
Dear
One,
Lord.
everyone
I would
loses.
put it in as you gain an inspiration to use against us whenever you like.
Oh, no.
Gambling.
Don't give him
Oh
ideas.
my god.
Okay.
It's good. It's
Basically,
the only
Robert
good thing. I don't want to like disincentivize using it. So
Okay. But Broderick is going to disengage,
okay.
and where's his movement gone? Where is it? 60 feet. There we go.
He's a fast boy.
1, 2, 10, 20, 30, 40, 45. Let's just go with 40. He's going to back up Valenith.
Wow, the brown horse. Thank you so much, my friend. And he pats him on the side.
Yeah.
Immediately gets chomped by the wolf.
And
Is withholding, since that is a 10-foot attack. That is because you're technically
yes.
diagonal from him.
Well, disengaging is an action, isn't it? Or is it a bonus action?
That's an
Yeah.
action, you're right.
Yeah. Well, that's
Yeah,
the English term.
unless you're me, because I'm special.
Treasure
yeah.
hunters, I'm telling you.
I'm super special.
Super special.
Don't deny it.
No, I'm
You know
not.
it's
I
true.
say treasure hunters. They're pretty awesome.
No, I was talking to Theodric. Don't worry about it.
Oh, there you go. Okay. With that, we're gonna go ahead to Nim. I'm gonna have him make a death saving throw for me.
Everyone, give the good vibes to Nim.
I know.
17.
17. Oh,
All right.
It's good.
giving him the good rolls for now.
Just
All
so
our
that we
luck
can
needs
leave
to
him
be
here
somewhere.
alive, but unconscious to be devoured.
Oh,
That's true. That's true.
Of course you would say that.
Of course. Next is going to jump to Feanor, though. So Feanor, you
yeah.
see this wolf die in front of you as it kerplunks to the ground. You get your general awareness of the general battlefield and what's around you. You see a goblin to your back. This goblin doesn't seem like the normal goblins that you face within Mirkwood. It actually is armored with what looks to be crudely put together armor, but it is armor nonetheless. It's not the typical rags. Before you do anything, I'm gonna have you make a perception check for me.
15.
15. This looks to be some kind of commander. Its skin actually looks paler than the typical goblins that you find too, as if it hasn't seen really any sunlight almost ever. It's very, very, very pale.
Cool. Yeah, Feanor's just gonna light another torch, walk up and try to bonk him in the face if he can,
All right.
and like set him on fire more or less.
Set him on fire. Okay, go ahead and roll an attack with me with your torch.
Would I just more or less, just for quickness, just do like an unarmed strike?
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Less
That's
than-
exactly what that is. And then I'll have you
and
roll
then-
a d4.
Yep.
So the way that the mechanics in this game for setting a creature ablaze is if you roll a natural 4, it catches fire on the d4.
Okay, cool. I got a 22.
Okay. 22. That'll definitely hit as you attempt to bonk this goblin.
El Kabonk.
And it deals 2 damage.
2 damage. And you sear it right on the top of the forehead, and it shrieks as he begins to kind of like fan his basically his brow. All right.
Yeah, I can't do anything else. Perfect. Oh, sorry. It would take 4 damage, but it's not a natural 4 because my rage.
All right. Sweet. So 4, including the fire damage.
Yes, that's 4 total.
Yeah, you bonk him, and it leaves a fairly burning welt on his forehead. All right. So after that brings the wolves, and so this wolf is attempting to attack Valinith, and this one is going to make its way over to you, Feanor, in order to assist the goblin.
And it's directly within my fire range. I'm gonna bonk it too.
Yeah, this is very true. He does get disadvantage on the attack. Does a 13 hit?
It does not.
Right. This wolf against Valinith does a 14 hit.
No, thank goodness for the new armor. Thank goodness.
And then this one is going to make its attack against Theodric. Does a 17 hit.
No, it does not.
That is a thick armor class.
Ah,
I don't even have heavy armor equipped yet. Wait until I get that.
Jeez.
Good thing you didn't put down the shield.
True.
Exactly.
True. Yeah, all of the wargs, they miss, and the black warg, he says, I hunger, and he's gonna go ahead and make one last charge.
Sorry, one quick question, Kyle. Is the wolf
No,
near
that's squishy.
Valinith in the light?
Bring
Is
it.
it at disadvantage?
It is, yeah, it got disadvantage. on its attacks.
Yeah, I was just double checking. I wasn't. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
I forgot what our measurements were
15?
before.
20 feet.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I just wanted to double check. No problem.
Yep, he's just within your torchlight.
Mhm.
This one's going to attempt to attack you, Jess.
Also,
as
he should also be at disadvantage because he's in my torchlight.
Yes, he is. Thanks for the reminder. Which that's really good that he was, because that's going to be a total of a
Protects the hook.
6. And he is just going to, I'm going to just say for the sake of brevity, leap over, attempting to bite at you. And
You do a 6 slide under it as it's in
yeah,
the air.
basically you jump, you like duck as it just reaches over and just barely misses the bite, and it turns around. Let's finish this. And that brings us down to Theodric.
Okay.
Sorry, 1 second.
Yeah.
Does it have to make a save or else, against being feared because of how close it is to Theodric? Having just jumped over Jess.
It only has disadvantage on the attack rolls.
Okay, yes. I just couldn't remember if they had to actively try to flee fire or not.
No. So basically what it says is they're fear of fire, so wolves and wargs are fearful of fire. If a torch or other flames come within 10 feet of them, so I guess it's 10 feet.
Okay.
The wild wolf suffers disadvantage on its attack rolls. In addition, the wild wolf is not able to use its pack tactics ability, so that doesn't cancel out.
Oh, dope.
That's fine. I just couldn't remember. It has been 33 sessions since I last
Warg
fought
attacks.
one, so...
Yeah, for sure. I think there was a special rule with that one, because it was like a big bonfire.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
So,
So is the
We
black
need more
wall
fire.
within striking distance for me? I
he
can't
is
tell
not.
because of
He's
how
within 10
big it
feet.
is on the. Okay.
Could throw the torch at him.
I could. I don't
Could go
wanna-
out.
I don't want to miss though.
Yeah, go straight into the Anduin.
Straight into the Anduin. You know what? I am going to move down to attack the black warg. I'm not scared of the wolf.
yeah, opportunity attack with that. It is at disadvantage, and that is going to be a 13, which he is going to miss as he nips at your heels.
And you said it was unarmed for a bonk with the.
Yeah,
The
just unarmed
flank-
strike. Yep.
Remember your +2 from your rage.
Oh no. That is a 7.
That will unfortunately not hit as it sees that the flame has come from behind it, and you hear kind of like a high-pitched yelp as it is able to dodge out of the way of the bonk.
Can I threaten this warg?
You can make an intimidation check for me. With your
Okay. Where is my...
hold on. Technically, you wouldn't have been able to bonk him anyways, because you didn't disengage. Got it. Yep.
I just
Yeah,
walked
yeah.
away.
Just walked away.
He-
Yep. Okay.
He's
Bonus
going to
action,
straighten up,
100%.
looking at the wolf. Actually, I don't need to fight you, and just walked away from it.
Okay, that's probably not going to work because it's only a 6, but Theodric's just going to be like, you know this doesn't end well for you, right?
I beg to differ.
Yes, you do beg to differ, but I've hit you quite a few times and you haven't scratched me.
And you can tell he's exhausted. He is beyond the point of retorting.
I'm going to get my Hobbit friend to cook you. That's how this ends. I'm going to eat you. You wanted to eat us, I'm eating you.
His rage is taking over.
That's it. That's exactly what's happening.
It's coming from the mouth of a man.
And with that, we move on to Jess. It is your turn.
Okay, let me think about this.
Give him the fisticuffs, Jess.
Uh,
Straight up
I
bopped
don't
on the
do
nose.
fisticuffs.
You uppercut
Okay,
him from
I don't-
underneath.
Uppercut the... Oh. Just a sure
Okay,
you can...
Rope-a-dope.
I
Actually, that's
don't
Theodric right now. It's
want
just
to
take it
give
with
up my
the-
bow either.
Use its manhood
so
as a punching bag.
I'm gonna go. I'm
Never
gonna use my
met
bonus
those
action
speed
to
bags.
disengage because I can do that.
Yep, yes you can.
I'm not gonna go too far. I'm gonna go like 10 feet away,
Perfect.
and I'm gonna attempt to do the arrow again.
Perfect.
Do the arrow.
You got this. I believe
Oh,
in you.
come on, please. No. It was a 9.
Dice gods are not smiling on us tonight.
Or-
What is
Unfortunately-
wrong?
Unfortunately,
I don't
that does not
understand.
hit as it just hits basically 5 feet
Right.
off to the side. You're running. It's panic. If you think about it, this might be Jess's first real combat ever,
Yeah.
potentially.
Yeah.
So
It's a combat, that's for sure.
I'm busting out the real dice.
for sure.
Just a little bit of flavor, by the way. If anyone looks at Feanor, his eyes are like going to be like reflecting the same as like all the wolves and stuff in the light. So it is going to be really unnerving if you look at him in the face.
Oh gosh.
Okay, perfect. And with that, you see this goblin. He is sizing you up, which he's pretty tall for a goblin, probably standing about almost 4 foot tall, about as big as a dwarf. And he looks to you as this, as he just like shrieks at you and just jumps basically not jumps, but like basically slashes at you with his bent sword.
Come on, have some class. This isn't a bar fight.
Oh,
You got the reference.
Does a 16 hit?
It does not.
All right. And he
God, we
misses
need
you,
to-
just whiffing you completely. Just
Where are you, you rats? Get over here!
and you can hear hustling off in the distance. Yeah, that's what he can do.
Oh my god. Stop it! Stop adding goblins! Oh my god!
And with that,
Stop it.
it is down to Valinus' turn.
Okay. So here's the question. If I stay within what's it called? If I stay within combat with this wolf that's next to me, do I get an opportunity if I move around him?
So
Does the wolf get an
technically,
opportunity?
because of the way this works, if you move to here, you're out of his strike range, and so
Well, no.
that'll engage an opportunity.
What I'm talking about is I want to try to mount Baradorok.
He'll
he's not
get an
doing too well.
opportunity attack at you, because
Ah.
Baradorok is next to you. But it is
could-
worth attempting to try to mount Baradorok. You're gonna have to make an
could,
animal handling check too.
yeah. You could attempt to disengage as well and head towards Theodric and Jess. Feanor has
know, but I don't
want
wanna
to
abandon.
and he's got like
39
in-
HP.
in his rage, he essentially has 80 HP. So
Okay.
Oh yeah, I forgot
Um,
rage half down HP. I mean, half damage
damage.
taken.
well, on
Okay.
certain types of damage.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then he's gonna do that. Valneth is not super. He's gonna like look sorrowfully at Nim and be like, "I'm still here. We'll be here, Feanor." And I'm gonna attempt to disengage from him and
Right.
from the wolf. And I'm gonna move.
Move yourself. Go
Yeah.
for it.
So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 right here.
Okay.
And then, do I have any actions if I disengaged or no?
No, that's your action. So you have
Okay,
a
is
bonus
there-
action
is there-
if you?
Can I light the torch that I had by me?
Yeah, I can say basically you would have to drop your bow to pick up your torch. If that was the case.
Okay.
You still have your other weapons on you that you haven't pulled out, but basically you will be unarmed. But if you have your torch, you can. I will say you can light your torch and just have a
Okay.
torch.
Yep,
Theodric
I'm gonna do
does
that.
have a torch too, FYI.
If you want, I will throw that to you next turn.
Okay, I won't worry about it. I think it's more important having a bow in my hand. We have 2 torches lit already,
Okay.
so yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm
Yep,
bound
disengage and you'll run off. Got it. And with that, that brings us to Baradorok. What is he doing?
Baradorok, upon seeing our boy Valineth retreating, is going to let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Hoof attack on this wolf up here.
All right, go ahead and roll to hit.
I'm
Is...
saying if anyone's seen the 40k meme where the guy's singing "I'm Still Standing," that's Feanor right now.
Yes.
Just he's gonna be surrounded by enemies, just
I
like
know. Don't
does a
worry,
15
we're not
hit?
abandoning you.
15 will hit.
Nice.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll damage.
Now that is. That is 10 damage.
Oof.
Oh no, 11 damage. My bad.
Is that with your
Freaking
plus 2?
Marauder.
Yeah, that's with the
Yeah.
+3 the Baradorok gets.
Oh, sorry. I
my
was thinking it
God.
was you attacking something.
No, that's Baradorok's
Yeah.
hoofs.
Yeah.
That's disgusting. Okay, yeah, Broderick goes, "Whew," just seeing Valinith retreat back to his companion's side, and just this wolf that is just kind of been creeping around. Broderick just boom, 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 just starts trampling, almost occupying this creature's space as it just starts stomping the heck out of this wolf. Very easily to be able to see it too. So wow, yeah, that's pretty good. Nim, make a death saving throw for me.
Oh, you got this, Nim.
A 2. It was almost.
No.
No, look, that's 1 fail, 1 success. This wasn't a nat fail.
Yep,
Okay.
yep. That wasn't a nat fail. That's good. And
And if we can end this in hopefully less than 2 combats, I doubt it, but there's still a chance.
Thanor, what are you going to be doing?
Feanor's going to just say to the goblin in front of him, "Oh, I think you dropped this," and he's just going to drop the torch, more or less, just like a light toss, taking back out his spear and just stabbing the guy in the face.
Yeah, go ahead and roll an attack at that. Just kind of dropping the torch and then just thrusting.
but like, almost like waving the fire around and going, "Hey, this is yours." So like his eyes follow it as it's dropping, just boom, stabs, tries to stab him.
Hopefully it hits.
Let's see if it hits. There's a 16 hit.
16 just hits.
Oh,
Okay, cool.
nice.
Come on, big damage.
He
It's a great
deals
spear,
12
so-
damage to it.
Oh my God.
You do so.
Go.
His eyes follow as it begins to fall. And he looks up at you, and you just take your spear and skewer him right through the mouth. Just rip it out, and he just slumps to the ground, dead.
Can I say to
Let's
the other?
go.
Can I like the other goblins? I'm like, "Hey boys, I think your boss isn't doing too great. Oh no, he seems to have a bad case of spear in the face."
You don't hear any replies except for a hurried goblin feet making their way into the combat. With that, we are going to go ahead and jump to wolves. This one is going to go ahead and make its attack against Broderick. Does a 13 hit.
Yes.
And with that, Broderick will be taking 11 points of piercing damage as it begins just like clawing and biting at it. And that's what he's gonna do. This one, seeing you, Feanor, I'm gonna have him make a wisdom saving throw for me. He's
Please
loving
be a
it.
coward.
Feanor's probably in the closest thing that he has been this entire campaign to an actual bloodlust.
Yeah, for sure.
With Nim down and like this is like animalistic. He's almost a little sadistic if you want to go to that point when like he just killed something and he's just like gloating.
Yeah, these wolves are just doing all that they can. And FYI, these 2 wolves that you're fighting, they look relatively healthy. They haven't received too much trauma. But this first one is going to go ahead and make an attack against you for a 19 to hit.
That does hit.
That's going to be 8 points of piercing damage, and I'm going to have you make a strength saving throw for me.
Okay, cool. A 12.
You fall prone on the ground. This
Okay.
other one is going to attempt to do the same. I'm going to say it cancels out because you're prone, but there's still the flame. It's on the ground, potentially flickering, but I don't think it's going to matter because that's going to be a 13 to hit.
No.
It doesn't. So they miss you, and that brings us down to the Black Wolf. He takes one look at you, Theodric, and I'm going to have you make an intimidation check for me, Theodric.
Intimidation check. That is a 3.
You and me will meet again.
He's going to disengage. Run past you, so Jess, you have an opportunity attack potentially.
Oh, come on.
Does that work if disengaged?
He disengaged from
He
Theodric, but
disengaged
not
from
from
Theodric,
you.
and he has to run
If
by
he
you.
enters into somebody else's
Okay.
attack radius, yes.
Get him,
Alright.
Jess.
Do it.
Get
So
him, Jess.
currently
You got an
your bow
inspiration if
is
you need it.
equipped, so this is going to be a disadvantage.
Can I? Okay, I wanna pitch something to you. Can I use the arrow as a
Melee weapon?
Yes, that'll be an unarmed
Yeah.
strike. To hit.
Oh,
I'll let you do bow damage if you hit it, but that'll be an unarmed strike.
you know what? It's worth it.
This would be big if it just talked all that. Try to escape.
You also have
it in the throat
advantage
with
too
an
if
arrow.
you need it.
I do. Where did I get advantage
I don't
from?
think she
Got inspo.
needs
From
it though.
Theodric.
Yeah, from Theodric.
Yeah, I did give her advantage earlier.
But what is that roll? What is the result?
17.
That'll hit.
Let's go.
Go ahead and roll bow damage.
How? Yeah. Okay.
This definitely
bow
does
damage.
break the
Okay.
arrow, though.
Yeah, that's okay. 4. Wait, I had advantage?
No, you had inspiration.
You can
Okay.
use it on your attack roll if you want.
No. I was just asking because
Double checking that
if
you
I have
didn't-
advantage, then I get sneak attack, but I don't get sneak.
No, not here.
Yeah, 4 damage to the wolf thingy.
Perfect.
As he runs past.
And
and I will
you
remember to
take
mark
this
it.
arrow and you basically shove it into his side as it your basic arm carries away with it, and this cracked arrow just right into the side of his arm. You can see that his shoulders a little bit slumped as he hurries off. And so essentially the way that I'm going to have fleeing combat goes is basically there's going to be a dexterity saving throw when you leave the edge of the board. If you pass 10, you successfully flee. So a 10 or higher is a successful flee. So that's kind of mechanically how that's going to work for you guys as well if you want to flee combat.
Okay.
He got a natural 2, so that is not going to do it. He stays there. You can hear kind of like a little whimper as if crying to a degree. Theodric, it is your turn.
Oh, this is tough. I really want to kill that warg, but moving that far away from everyone, and I might not even be on 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
And then there's Feanor.
Woo! Right, Feanor's all the way back over there.
Hey, to keep in mind, you do have 2 archers who are sitting there. So
Okay.
keep that in mind.
Okay. Theodric's just gonna move forward to deal with this warg. His is he standing in mud? What's the terrain like where he's at?
So it's a little bit muddy where you're at. Probably another 5-10 feet. You're probably standing in Anduin mud, but it's not too bad here.
Okay, he's just going to drop the torch and grab his longsword again.
Just drop it, not stick it in the ground. Just
I mean, okay, he'll stick it in the ground.
all right.
and,
Make an
and
athletics
grab
check for
this.
me.
Please. That's an 8.
An 8. You attempt to do so, but it doesn't quite catch, and it flops sideways onto the ground. It's beginning to smolder slightly.
Theodric at this point kind of doesn't care and grabs his longsword anyway,
Okay.
and is going to take a swing at this wolf.
All right. Go ahead and roll your attack.
It is a 14.
14
Wait.
will hit.
Hang on. Actually, it might not be a 14. No, it's only to damage, not to actual hit. Sorry, it's only a 12.
So you swing down, and the wolf misses as it sees its warg leader run off. As it begins to kind of slowly look like it's gonna start backing up. With that, we go to Jess.
Cool. I have learnt nothing. Actually, is there anything I can hide behind?
Yeah, there's probably some stones here that if you want to creep into like the Anduin, you could probably hide.
There's also a 6'3" like brick wall.
Yeah, I could hide behind Yodrick, but that would put me in melee range of the wolf, which I'm not a huge fan of.
I mean, you can
yeah,
get
okay.
behind him.
Yeah, I was talking more like here. Oh, well, behind me.
Oh yeah.
But I guess you
Yeah.
couldn't shoot at the wolf I'm fighting from there. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I could, because it's only like a 5 foot. Yeah, okay, I'll hide behind Yodrick, or at least attempt to. Stealth.
Perfect. Go ahead and make a stealth check for me.
Okay, it's 12.
A 12.
For context, I'm trying to hide from the walk.
Yeah, I kind of figured. So that is going to be a successful hide.
Nice.
Ooh, hooray. That means I get advantage on the roll. Okay. I am going to successfully shoot this. This bloody rock. If it takes me all night. Okay, roll advantage. Roll. 11.
11 will not
It's the
hit.
best I've rolled ever. No.
And so your bow sails into the darkness as this warg looks to be almost as if it's going to flee.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Was that
go
with
ahead and
advantage? Because
jump
I only saw
in.
one roll.
Yeah, if you right click on the roll that you want to make,
Oh.
then it lets you roll with advantage. Or
Oh, that's-
disadvantage, or just...
Oh, that's cool.
D&D
Yeah.
Beyond.
Richard.
We have goblins. Immediately into the general torchlight, you see goblins make their way.
But it's okay. They got 0 HP, so it's fine.
These two are going to make perception checks. Both of them, spears held in hand, they look and they're...
Ah! Elf blood! Let's get him! Ah!
as they begin charging headlong, or at least attempting to, into what looks to be Feanor. They seem to have not noticed the dead corpse of their captain.
Cool. Okay, that's interesting. Okay.
Yet, perhaps. And with that, that brings us to Valineth.
Yeah, Valineth is gonna look both side to side at the warg, at Feanor, and knowing the, knowing how dark creatures are and how they're not very brave. They're only brave when they got the numbers. He's gonna be looking towards the leader. So if he can, he's gonna try to get up here onto this rock, if he can.
This is going to be a dexterity
How
save
far up is
because
that?
it's got it's watery. It's only a 5-foot climb,
Okay.
but it is slippery. So dexterity save for me.
He's gonna do that, yeah.
Dexterity. Come on, that elvish dexterity needs to come in handy somehow.
No.
Elvish grace.
Oh, it's a 10.
10. Just
Oh,
able to
horrible.
climb up and stabilize yourself.
Oh, thank God, thank God. All right, and Valineth is gonna shoot at the warg.
This is going to be a
He's gonna line up his
disadvantage.
sights. Disadvantage. Is it because he's out of the range?
Because the torch is beginning to smolder and the light's growing dimmer and dimmer. Do you have night vision?
I do. I'm an elf.
Never mind that. Well, I don't know if all elves have that. I know Mirkwood elves have that, but I don't know if
I have.
We
it too.
live in the
Yep.
dark.
Yeah. Then cancel that out. It's just normal.
Okay. Actions. Okay, bow damage, and he's just gonna squint his eyes and just attempt to make a shot at this freaking orc. That is a 19.
That'll hit.
Come on.
All right, and that is max damage at 8.
These max damage rolls, you're basically critting every time.
I'm the only one who's rolling well today, apparently. So...
Valineth, you climb up
good
onto
stuff.
this rock and you take aim at this warg that's attempting to flee, running, actually more hobbling than anything. A arrow sticking out of its side, and looks frightened, looks pretty terrified. You pull back the bowstring, and your arrow lands true, and you see this dark figure off in the distance slump peacefully down to the ground and flop over on its side.
Let's freaking go.
Because
We're
of
eating
that,
good.
everyone in the battlefield is going to be making wisdom saving throws, starting with this wolf.
Every enemy or everyone?
Every enemy, sorry.
Everyone.
Enemy. Everybody.
We got scared from watching Valinus sick shot.
He's staying. I guess the goblins wouldn't know, but the wolves likely are probably going to. So the wolves.
You got that better sense of hearing.
This one
It
gets
lets out
a
a
natural
fat
1,
owl.
and it immediately attempts to flee. You can take an opportunity attack if you wish to do
Let's
so.
go, Feanor. Come on.
Where do you think you're going? Come back here.
Got that
A
sensible
17.
That'll hit.
Yeah, no, you're not going anywhere. And that's with 6 damage.
6 damage. And you stab it in the flank as it runs away. And it
All
is
I can
going-
think of is what's his name? Stan Marsh. Like, I didn't hear no bell.
The baseball.
Run away!
he chills kind of outside of the flame, the torchlight, but he is unable to escape. This wolf is going to be making his wisdom saving throw. He's feeling good. He's brave. He's staying in there. Which brings us to the top of the round, Baradrock.
Is disengage is just a plain action, isn't
Yes.
Yeah.
it? What's the wolf Baradrock and I fighting like? How's he looking? Is he looking rough?
Make
Is
an
he
insight
messed up?
or make a perception check for me.
Okie dokie. That is an 11.
From what you can tell, he doesn't look horribly injured. He looks more frightened than he does injured.
Okay. Okay. Well, Baradrock is going to disengage. He's not feeling great, and he's going to come over here by Valinus. And
I'm gonna
Yeah,
pull Legolas, just get on top of him and stand. Just.
I mean, yeah, he's not feel.
I
He's
haven't
not feeling
seen
good.
Legolas do that with horses. I've seen him do that with dwarves and barrels, though.
Oh wait, actually, sorry, I forgot that we killed the Black Warg. He's going to come over here instead.
Nice.
Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to squeeze
Oh.
through.
Yes. Okay. No, he's chilling
Jess
with
can
Valinus.
crawl through that space, but Baradrock.
He's chilling with Valinus.
Perfect. Which brings us down to Nim. Nim is going to make
Come on, Nim.
a death saving throw.
You got this. You got this, Feanor.
It's a 4.
Oh, it's okay. It's not that one.
And
Question, sorry, just
Yes.
For the mechanics. How does stabilization work in this game? Is there such a thing?
there is. And so you can make your way over and make a medicine check, and depending on how many fails there are. And so you can make, basically it's a base 10 with 0, and then it's +2 for each death failed. And so right now it would be a 14 in order to stabilize as an action.
Okay. Okay, cool. Thank you. I just needed some clarification.
Yeah. And with that, we're going to go ahead and jump to Feanor. It's your turn.
So these goblins don't seem to have noticed the dead goblins on the ground, right? Like right next to me.
No, not so much.
And my torch is about to go out, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I take some of my.
At the end of this
one
turn,
my-
it'll go out if you don't pick it up.
I put a flask of oil and smash it on the goblin so that it like splashes the area and he sets ablaze.
All right, I'm gonna have you make a Constitution saving throw.
Just grenade yourself. I like it.
Turn their
Sorry.
commander into a
A
bonfire.
19.
Woo!
Yeah, you're used to this. You
Hey,
take
boys!
the flask of oil, boom! You slap that, like you slam it down onto the torch right in front, and this literal explosion happens in front as you go cascading back 5 feet, landing back, not prone. You're able to keep your feet, but you take 12 points of fire damage. as you just, and just
Molotov
like
yourself.
singe all the way. This wolf gets burned pretty freaking bad too.
Nice.
Fails his save, and he
He's dead.
takes 20.
He's
fire
dinner.
damage.
24?
So, what does everyone else see when Feanor does this?
Oh, like you hear the. Everybody else has their attentions most likely focused on these wolves and what's going on up there, so they probably don't see it, but they do hear this, and this giant blaze go up, which I would assume has everybody turn their heads, and then they see
roast goblins on the menus, lads.
this wolf catches fire in a blaze and runs off. As it does so, it makes it about 20 feet before it succumbs to the flames and it falls down as a charred husk. This
Ew.
one is going to make a save, and he just lightly gets burnt. He lightly gets crisped for 6. Well, I mean, that's not light, but 6 HP. And these goblins, on the other hand, they see that, and they see this fire, like, hot! Too bright! Too bright! And they're gonna make, wisdom saving throws for me.
And I was gonna say, that's right, challenge me, the Lord of Light.
Lord of
These
Fire,
two-
more like it.
These two turn and begin fleeing.
Okay, Azure as I.
These ones are gonna make theirs. They stand put, but they're frozen in place. Their next turn of combat, all of them are basic. These two are standing still. These are going to attempt to run. That's their turn though. So that brings us to Theodric.
Okay, Theodric's just gonna take another swing at this wolf, I guess. It's another 6. That's my third 6 in a row. I'm
Fortunately,
Get an
switching
average
to
to
physical dice.
You have this great shield in your hand, and you're just like, oh, this is unwieldy. But man, this is good at protection. You miss. You whiff. As you are fighting with this. But that does bring us to Jess. Jess, what are you going to be doing?
Okay, perfect. Okay, let
Save
me
the
do the
torch.
girl math.
Save the
Okay, so-
torch.
Who, me?
Someone
No way,
save
I'm gonna
the
save the
torch.
deer.
Oh. I don't think you can make it.
I
You got
absolutely
stubby
can.
legs.
So, I have a 25-foot walking speed. Okay. But if I use my bonus action to dash, then I can double that. So it makes it 50 feet. So, count with me.
Yep,
Five,
it's 50. I
10.
counted.
20.
You can go through broader
30.
space, can you not?
Shut up.
No, I'm saying because you'd be able to more quickly 10, 20,
30,
30, 40
30,
directly.
40. It's 50. I counted. Yeah.
I did too. No worries.
Okay. So, yeah, Kyle gets me.
I got you. You
We
see
believe.
Jess just like scatter through the battlefield. You see these goblins, and it's amazing to you. These things are horrible. The stories that Bilbo said, they start to finally begin to ring true at their nastiness. But your attentions are focused on this dying deer.
Yes. I thought that Valineth will look after the deer, but he did not. So, I pull out my healing crystal
Oh
Okay.
my god. Oh my lord.
Okay, hang on. Let me.
What is
let me
this gonna
read
do?
this. Okay, this is gonna take 10 minutes.
Oh.
Like in 10 minutes in game, or
It's in game time.
I was
Yeah,
not.
okay, so Kyle, because it takes so long, would you consider this the effect of stabilizing him, or should I roll a medicine check to stabilize him first?
If so, it could be either or. I would say if you wanted to gain any kind of healing effects of it immediately, you'd have to spend the 10 minutes, and so it would.
Yeah.
Technically, I would have you make the medicine
point
check
question
first.
is, I don't want him to be making death saving throws while I'm doing the healing.
Make a medicine check first.
Okay, medicine check. Okay.
Yes. To stabilize while you're healing. I got you.
I'm using an inspiration.
That's good. You might as well save the deer.
Save the world.
It can't be
the
worse.
music better be sad right now.
Oh no!
God!
It's not destined, I guess. These rolls, guys. These
It
are
was a
rolls.
4. That was with advantage.
Yeah! I got a nat one.
Okay,
and then
I'm
a
swapping to
natural
my
3.
physical dice. I'm swapping to physical dice. I mean, Beyond is
So
broken.
bad.
So
Okay.
you can still attempt to start using your healing crystal, but he is going to basically until the next. So once combat ends, I will say this mechanically: once combat ends, you can do what you can if he hasn't died yet to stabilize him, because you're not kind of in the rush, whatever the case. Like that.
You
I'm
know, on
gonna
the
leave that
lookout
just
for
as a
someone coming
basic
to
thing.
stab you and stuff like that. Like,
Yes.
Okay, cool. Good to know.
It's okay.
So
I'm
if
just
combat is
gonna
officially
yell
over,
over
then-
my shoulder. I'm just gonna scream, Valadin, help me!
And with that,
And that'll be my turn, I guess.
we jump into that. Goblins have already done their fleeing and all that good stuff, and so that brings us to Valineth.
Valneth, hearing Jess scream, will look over and is like, I'll make my way as soon as I can. We're a little preoccupied up here. And he's going to take a shot, since he's got like the high elevation, at the warg down there.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And
Roll your
yeah,
attack. I'm
there's
gonna have
two.
you make an in the way check. So essentially, this is gonna be a D20.
but I'm high. I'm high.
You're only 5 feet
Very
up.
tall.
yeah,
5 foot higher.
5 feet up. And so
Yes,
you will still
but
get
he's
attacked.
also 6 feet.
on
he's still
the
6
roll on the roll of an 8 plus. You will make your attack at the wolf. Less than that, it's gonna be made at Theodoric.
All right, I'll do my best here.
If you shoot me in the
Just
butt
a
with
nat,
an
just
arrow.
a base straight 20 D20.
Sorry. Sorry, Theodore. Shoot me in the butt. All right. Well, that's nice.
All right,
I'll
so
be
you're gonna
right
you
there.
still have to roll to hit.
Oh, no.
So
Yeah,
you
yeah,
still have
yeah.
to
Oh,
roll to
damage.
hit.
Don't get max damage
I'm
again, please.
sorry. That's a 20 to hit.
Oh no!
Valineth's killing everything this combat.
And that's 7 damage. I'm sorry.
Okay,
Look,
so
that is halved, so that would be 4 damage instead of 7.
Oh,
Sorry.
3 they
I'm
round down in
sorry.
AMA.
I can't.
Oh, yes.
I can't miss today. And then Valineth will make his way over to Nim.
Upon getting an arrow in the arse, Theodore goes, "Go help the deer! Stop helping me!"
So,
There's just an
it's
arrow in
dark.
his shoulder.
It's very dark. I'm sorry.
You're an elf. You can see in the dark. Don't give me that.
And Valineth will hop onto Baradrock next to him and just be like pointing towards.
make an animal handling check.
It's okay. I'm rolling
Can he
well
have advantage
today.
because he and Baradrock have bonded a bit?
It's
We
gonna
have.
be normal because he's also jumping off a wet rock.
That's
Okay.
true. It's good. Well, what is this? I'm doing
Animal handling.
Animal handling. Watch, this is gonna be the one roll I do
No,
horrendous
Valineth
on.
slips
Oh, that's a natural
and
20 for a 23.
Oh.
You do, and with that you basically kick him into action, and he immediately moves 15 feet.
Yeah.
In a
Oh,
straight
please don't.
direction.
Nice. It's okay.
Um,
It's okay. The goblins are running. It's fine.
Not all of them, are they?
They're kind of, they're like determining whether to keep running or not.
These
That's right.
these ones are like basically abjectly fleeing. These two are not so much yet. This wolf is dead, very very dead. And this one's determining whether it wants to run. Okay, which brings us to the top of combat. This is a very very big top of round. Baradarok, it is his turn.
Okay,
Technically,
Baradarok-
because Valinith is riding him, he gets control of Baradarok.
Ha ha ha.
Okay.
Now you have the
Valinith-
animal companion.
Yeah, it's good. Valinith is gonna be like, full steam ahead, Baradarok, and we're gonna move down towards here, and he's gonna try to move into this little spot right here if he can.
Not gonna work. Not enough space.
Okay. Still gonna move right here then. Right here. So the Valinith is nearby for when it's his turn.
With that being the case, we're gonna go ahead and jump into Feanor. It is your turn.
Okay. 15, 25, 30. I want to run all the way up to the goblin on the in the bottom right, like diagonally from it, and I'm just gonna try and stab it in the face.
Simplicity. I love it.
What's
Yeah.
it again? 10.
Here we go to the right one, so 5, then 15, 25.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. No, wait. Yeah. 10, 20, 30. Yeah, 10 feet away. Does that work? Place him where it needs to be.
15, 25.
Oh no. He...
Unfortunately.
Okay. Does the goblin above? Like that'd be directly above where he was. Is that one in that square, or is that which square is it in? The one on the far left.
Far left. This one?
Yeah, what square is that one actually in? Okay, yeah. He's going to go 2 squares below that. So, and he's just going to stab that goblin.
All right. Go ahead and stab him as he's fleeing. This is going to be at advantage.
Cool. Does a 21?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you're spearing him down as he's attempting to flee.
9 damage.
And as I said, you spear him down as he's attempting to flee, and you're able to just pierce him right through the chest. And all of these goblins around see it. It's just goblins as he just falls down. Just
Feanor with the flames
dead.
behind him is like, you don't get to leave that easily.
Yeah. So that's a dead goblin. All right, it's the wolf's turn. They are going to make wisdom saving throws. So the one with Theodric, he fails very much so. So he is going to use his disengage, and he's going to attempt to flee. He does so.
Okay.
This wolf is already in the process of fleeing, but he's going to make his and he flees.
Well, that's kind of nice.
Which means we have. Oh, Nim. You had to roll for Nim and his
Yeah.
death
Okay.
saving throw.
Come on, succeed.
Okay. Let's.
Oh, I can't bear this.
An 11.
One more turn. We got 2 healers
Please.
right by him.
Someone save him. Feanor's in a rage, so he doesn't care, but I care. It's not that he doesn't care. He's so angry. He's not focused on it.
Theodric, it is your turn. The wolf has
Okay.
officially fled from you, seeing your rage, and I'm going to have you with your wisdom saving throw at the very beginning of this combat.
Oh.
I'm going to have you roll a d20 for me.
Oh, okay.
You got this. Roll well.
I've lost my mouse for a second. I just need to find. There we go. That's 6.
6.
4 in a row. Oh my
You are going to have to start chasing the wolf that is running away.
Oh no.
So basically, you have to take your dash action in order to do so.
Oh.
I'm gonna
Okay.
have you quickly, in order to escape, technically, make a dexterity or just a straight dexterity check for me.
another 6 coming up.
It's just 5 in a row.
That's a 10.
10. You flee the combat.
Oh my
God
god.
damn it!
It's okay, it's okay. It's basically over. It's fine.
You can't get too far on foot. You've got your
Jess,
horse.
it is your turn. Medicine check?
I can't get worse than I did last time. Sure.
It's kind of true.
Don't tempt fate.
Why would you?
Have you learned nothing? You believe in crystals.
Tempting-
Surely you believe in tempting fate.
See, look, D&D Beyond actually has
Wait.
like a voice, like an AI that listens to voice things. He goes, "Okay then." Practice knuckles.
Medicine check.
Okay, here we go. Fingers crossed, everyone. It was better. It's a 9.
A 9.
Hey,
As you attempt to mend the wounds, all you can see is just teeth marks everywhere on this creature, and he's bleeding. And no matter what wounds you try to plug up and try to heal, he seems to be, he's fading. You can kind of hear this hoarse, kind of high-pitched squeal for a breath. He is fading fast. Valinith.
Valinith.
Sorry. Goblins.
Oh yeah.
They got something. Unless you want to
They got-
try to do a bonus action or something.
What are they goblin?
Jess.
Those goblins.
The goblins are goblin spears, I think.
Goblins have goblin spears.
Yeah.
They.
I'm good.
You're good. This one is going to make a wisdom save. He's fleeing. 25. This one's gonna make his save. He's fleeing.
Freaking
He
cowards.
has technically not made his way to the border yet, and this last one, this is a pretty high DC. They just witnessed their buddy just getting shish kebabbed.
Shish kebab.
he's still on the end of my spear, and I'm like
Yeah.
putting my foot on his chest and like pulling it out.
Oh, God.
He's feeling brave.
Finally, one with some spine.
And he's going to attempt to make an attack against you with his spear, which he gets. Oh boy, that's an 11. Just misses.
Feanor doesn't even block. He just kind of shifts, and the spear like lands on his armor.
It's a sad, pitiful sight to see, as his buddies are attempted to make their escape. But that brings us down to Valinith.
Yeah, Valinith gets off Baradrock and quickly hustles his way over. He's like, Jess, were you able to stabilize? And he's looking for the wounds.
No, my hands are too small. There's so much blood.
Make a
Oh my
medicine
God.
check for me, Valinith.
Make a what kind check?
Medicine.
Medicine.
Is this an advantage because they're helping?
It doesn't matter. It does not matter. That's a 25.
You
Oh,
officially
man.
stabilize.
Casually coming in.
You skillfully look over the creature. You haven't dealt with a lot of animals in the past, but from what your experience is, you know kind of the general diameter of tooth bites, or not diameter, like the shape of like a tooth bite, so you're able to successfully boop, 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 find all of like basically the wounds, and you are able to take bandages and just cover up with the help of Jess, being like, Jess, take some, and then like you are able to do it together, and you're able to stabilize him to a degree. He is waning though, but he's not dead.
Nice.
Baradrock,
Great success.
It is his turn.
Theodric's not there, so
That's
Val's
true,
still
but he
controlled.
can still control him as the horse.
True, there you go.
You're not calling orders to him, so.
Upon looking around and seeing that Theodric is gone, Baradrock is going to just kind of stay with the group, I guess.
Okay, sounds good.
It knows that it will come when Theodric calls.
Perfect. And with that, we jump all the way down to Feanor. No longer any death saves. So, Feanor.
I'm just gonna say the weight off my chest has been lifted, so now let's indulge in some rage.
Oh my.
Yeah, he is just going to actually. Feanor is going to try and... Does he want to grapple this thing and beat it to death with his hands? Yeah, can I attempt to, like, grapple this thing?
Yeah, go ahead and make an athletics check for me. This is gonna be contested.
Okay.
And I'm the one who has to make the wisdom saving.
He has a
throw.
23.
23. You successfully grapple him. You can make
Feanor
one
just kind of
strikes
looks...
if you wish to.
Feanor kind of just looks down at his spear and goes, I don't need this. Throws it down, walks forward, grabs it, and yeah, he's gonna just attempt to punch it in the face. Oh, I rolled a 6. My dice was balanced. It hit the edge of the thing, and I got a 2.
You take
So,
your
yeah,
fist and rolled a 6 to hit.
Yeah, 16.
He's grappled,
no,
so you get
yeah.
advantage.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. Okay, so
I was like, it's 6 on
okay.
advantage? That's crazy.
17.
Yeah, that's blows. So whatever that is, your unarmed attack. How much is that?
With my rage, it's a 5.
You take it and you just begin boom, 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 and it falls down to the ground like whimpering.
I just punching it. Can I keep punching with my shield? Like that's what he's like bludgeoning it with.
Yeah,
like
he's
that's what his
looking
unarmed
in
strike.
A sad shape. Yeah, the shield. I gotta say you can absolutely do that. Just it begins to be spattered with almost kind of this blackish oozy blood. But that brings us down to Theodric, who he's out. Jess.
Okay. Nim's all good, more or less?
Nim's all good. He's stabilized. He's not going to be dying. You guys are looking over your work. You nod to each other. He's not dying anytime soon.
Okay. I'm gonna put my bow away and I'm gonna draw my short sword.
By the way,
Yeah.
combat is officially over. So,
Oh, it's over?
Not
Yeah,
for
combat is
Feanor.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's what I'm thinking.
he has
I'm just
given
gonna-
up the ghost. You can do whatever the heck you want to this goblin now.
Yeah.
So
I'm
yeah,
just
what
gonna
is your response? Feanor's just still wailing on this thing.
across.
1 second, Jess. You can do one thing before Feanor beats this thing to death.
Okay. I go like I think Jess goes into like a part of her mind that she hasn't entered yet.
Okay.
And she is going to take her sword and just slit the goblin's throat.
All right. I'm gonna have you roll an attack roll on this. This
Oh,
is gonna
no.
see if it's if you do it before Feanor beats it to death.
Okay.
Is this contested?
No.
No,
I'm
no,
gonna give her the
let it
opportunity
go.
to be able to do
Yeah,
this.
yeah. No.
Yeah.
I just thought it was funny to say.
With the way I've been rolling. 13.
13.
It is prone. You would have advantage on it, wouldn't you?
Oh, okay.
Technically, yeah, that's true.
I'll roll again. Yeah, that's better. 16.
16. You walk up over to the goblin and you take the knife, and as basically the shield is coming down in order to just like bash it in, you're able to take your basically knife and you cut its throat, and then immediately the shield smashing its head completely to pieces. And I'm gonna have Feanor make a wisdom saving throw for me.
Yeah, I was expecting it. A 5.
5. You gain 2 points of shadow.
Yep.
But it doesn't take long for you in your rage to be able to come out of it. And fortunately, because you were enraged, that's less points of shadow than would be normal. But you're able to kind of calm down out of that, and you look around you, and you can hear the sound of 2 goblins screaming as they officially make their way out and just running as fast as they can towards the direction of Mirkwood. And from what you know, that's days away as far as a trip of running. This is
Fëanor kind of
rough.
Fëanor's just kind of panting, like covered in blood. Kind of looks towards Jess, his eyes still that like glowing, burning kind of color. And he runs a hand through his hair, and like as his like hand like passes his face, like the colors like faded away. He's like, "How's Nim?" And he's just going to get up and immediately run over to it.
Nim, as you approach, you see that he is stabilized. You can tell that Jess in Valnith made very quick work out of this mending job, but he definitely, this is by far the most wounded you have ever seen Nim. He's been through fire, he's been through all kinds of things, but this is something else. His eyes are kind of rolled back in his head, and there's very shallow breaths. But there are breaths nonetheless. You don't see any active bleeding, but there is blood everywhere. And this is just one of those things where you look upon your companion, and I'm gonna have you make a just a straight history check for me. Oh, by the way, Valnith, Jess, are you doing anything in the process now that combat is done?
Well, Valnith, after observing his work, he's gonna look around for like the party, make sure everyone's in order, and he doesn't see Theodric, and he's gonna just start calling out to Theodric if he can. Theodric, where are you? Combat's over, and he's gonna like kind of look around.
Okay.
Yep.
Jess, what are you doing in the meantime? Are you going to use your crystal?
Yeah, I think at this stage she's very carefully observing both Nim and Fëanor. Just keeping a very close eye on that. She'll turn to Valnith and she will say, "Do you have anything that can help them?"
I've got quite a few. In fact, if we just decide to make camp, I think that might be best here.
Do you
And
want
so, like,
make camp here?
unless we can move Nim, I don't see any place better for it. I mean, we can clear the bodies and whatever's here, but it doesn't look like they're going to be coming back tonight, whatever those goblins are. We're safe here as anywhere. And especially, we don't want to go anywhere without Theodric nearby.
Okay. Do we think we can have a fire?
Of course. I don't see a reason why. I mean, we killed the warg. We killed the goblin commander. I can't see a reason that it will attract anything else.
Fortunately, the fire itself is relatively contained because you are on the banks of the Anduin. It doesn't seem to be spreading. It is still decently blazing, but it's consuming the body and everything around this goblin. If you want to look on it for anything, you have a moment to do so without it potentially being destroyed.
Yeah, Valnith is going to quickly look to see if he can spot any, like, just whatever he's got on him. Like, he's not going to be looking for anything in particular. Like, just basically take as much as he can off of him in hopes that he finds some sort of markings or anything.
Make an investigation check. This is going to be a disadvantage.
Goblin works for. That's fine. Investigation.
15.
That's a 9.
Oh, I got
9
15.
total.
Oh, it's a disadvantage.
Who got-
Yep.
Yeah, it's a disadvantage. Yeah, 9.
You look upon him and you see that most of what's on him is like grubby, like grimy looking rations that are charred at this point, and they're quite stinky. But his armor is holding up to the fire, but his skin has begun to melt, and you kind of begin to see his goblin-esque, gnarled, knotted features. You can see the one thing that you're able to see before his flesh completely kind of disintegrates to the flame is there is a large cut that's across his left eye, and it's long and it's deep and it looks fresh. But this does not look to be a wound made from a elven weapon or even just weapons made by man. This looks jagged and gnarled and pretty messed up. With that, you're able to look kind of him one over, and you do notice that there, tucking out of his belt, is a small piece of parchment, but it is on fire. I'm going to give you a moment if you wish to take it.
Yeah, and Valinith will, and attempt to quash any flames that may be on it.
Okay, I'm going to have you make a dexterity check for me.
Dexterity. Good thing I'm an elf.
Sorry, I cut out. Did I miss anything?
We're making
your history check.
Yes. I heard a scar and then.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
14.
Yeah, no, he's looting the body.
Okay.
14.
You're able to pull the piece of parchment out. It is charred, and you can tell that it part of it is kind of disintegrated. You are able to put the fire out for a little bit, so you have kind of like this kind of triangular piece of paper or parchment that you're able to rescue from it. But you do take 1 point of fire damage as you do so. You unfurl it, and it looks to be some kind of drawing.
Okay. I'm gonna hand it over to Jess, and as this is all going on, while Valinith put it out, hands it to Jess, and is still gonna look for Feanor, not Feanor, Theodric, if he can.
And with that, I'm going to have you guys do that. I need to take a really quick bio break, but I will be right back. So I will not be gone, but you discuss amongst yourselves. I'll be listening, but discuss amongst yourselves what you're doing in this moment.
Feanor, is anyone going to stay behind? Because Feanor would go off to go find Theodric. He's been the only one in the past who's been able to stop him when he's like this.
Yeah, Valinith is concerned on where he is, but he's more keen to start setting up camp because he's got special things he can do to heal people up if he can set up camp.
Yeah. If Jess wants to come with, Feanor's going to mount Broadrock and go searching for Theodric. Like that's what he would do, knowing that Valinith is here and like that Nim is safe, at least for the most part. The fire should keep the goblins away and the wolves. So if Jess wants to come, hop up on the horse with me.
Does Feanor want Jess to come specifically?
No, it's just like I don't want to exclude you from this activity. Like, you can come if you want. If you want to stay at camp, then stay at camp.
Yeah, I'd prefer to stay at camp.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Feanor's gonna pat Nim. You're brave. I doubt there's ever been a deer that's been through so much. We're gonna keep getting through it, though. Valinith, if it comes to a point where it's painful for him, make sure it's quick if it comes to it.
Don't have to worry. He's not gonna die. Not in the hands of Jess and I. Go find Theodric.
Yeah. Oh, I was so scared, but I can't let that get in the way. Come on, Broadrock. Let's go find your crazy lunatic. So he's just gonna mount Broadrock. And he looks at Valinith. If I'm not back in 2 days, assume I'm dead. The same thing he said to him in the Mirkwood.
I'll never.
It's gonna take off before you can respond.
And Valinith, as he's responding, he'll be like, "I never assume anything anymore." So Jess, you and I will just start, I guess, preparing camp, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna set up a fire. I'm gonna start cooking something.
All right. So who's all good? How's your HP, by the way?
Yeah.
Are you doing okay?
I'm fine.
Valnith is gonna wait till Theodric gets back then.
Yeah.
Before any of that happens. So I guess we'll wait for then.
Yeah.
See what happens there.
So Feanor rides off on Baradorok in the northerly direction. But before he's able to catch up, Theodric, you are running, your head basically whirling, seeing this wolf very, very quickly making its way away. There's no way your legs are going to in any way be able to catch up with this wolf as it scatters off into the distance. So much so to the point where you just are running and running towards nothing. I'm going to have you make a wisdom saving throw for me.
18.
18. Out of breath, tired, you stop and you put your hands on your knees and you cough up what is this phlegm, and just kind of you sense the spit of tears kind of falling down your face as well. And you can hear off in the distance the sound of familiar hooves as Feanor makes his way over to you. Your mind is finally able to clear of the darkness, remembering your father, and you look up to see Feanor approached.
Ah, thank God you're just right here. Roderick knew exactly where to go. He just followed your scent. Are
always
you all
does.
right?
I'll be fine. Is everyone okay? How's Nim?
He's okay.
Good. That's good.
Hopefully he comes through. How are you? Were you injured much in the battle?
Oh, barely a scratch, and that was mostly from friendly fire. And Theodric will kind of like tenderly touch the arrow shaft that is sticking out of his posterior. It's like, Velenus better fix this when we get back. He
I'm
put it
picturing
there.
Shrek.
Yeah, that's kind of exactly it.
It's
Velenus put this
tender.
here. He can remove it.
Yes.
I like it.
Yeah, Feanor is covered in blood.
What happened while I was gone? Last I saw you exploded, and now you look like this.
Yes, well, I took on the visage of a fire god, and scared off all the goblins, and then beat one to death with my bare hands, but, well, it wasn't that bad. Hardly any of this blood is mine. Coughs up a little bit of blood.
Okay, well, let's get back to camp.
Yeah, you're not going in the saddle with that arrow in in your rear. We'll walk back.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Feanor is going to very quickly, using the hand knife, just cut off the extended bit of shaft that's out, but not actually remove the head of the arrow.
Perfect.
Just so it's not getting caught or tugged on things.
Perfect. You do so pretty easily. Back at camp, well, the attempts to make camp. There's a number of bodies that need to be cleaned up. I'm just gonna assume you guys do that. You make quick work of it. What do you plan on doing with the bodies? Do you plan on burning them, throwing them in the Anduin, putting them in the woods? What's the plan?
Well, first of all, on the way back, Theodric is picking up the black warg, and we are eating it.
I wouldn't do that. They've got tainted flesh.
Aren't they just big wolves?
Well, these are more of the shadow than. Look, it's my people have always, even in the woods, tried to burn them or bury them deep enough so that the things in the soil take them.
But is there any way we can
We can
discover
skin it, though.
who it works for?
No.
Is there any way we can decipher what this warg is, if it's any distinctive marks, anything on it?
Nothing. This is a warg. It doesn't carry anything on it. It's large and it's very, very mangy looking, blackened fur, and even in its state of death, it's got this look of hate on its face. What's that?
How bad is the fur? Like, is it?
It's matted. I mean, it's
can
not
wash
going to
that.
be a beautiful wolf pelt, needless to say, that you hang in Woodasold. but it does its job. It's fur, and it's
Yeah,
a
we can
decently
make a
thick hide.
couple.
Yeah,
We can make a couple warg cloaks.
Well,
Theodric is going to probably skin that warg.
Mm.
I think that's a good idea,
Um,
but at the same time, oh, go ahead. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Jess.
no, I was just gonna ask if I could have some of the like teeth or claws.
Actually, that's an excellent idea, Jess. And Feanor's going to knock out some of the bigger fangs, and he's going to take one himself.
Valinith,
He's got 2 fangs, so you're able to get 1 tooth from that, and an additional 6 claws.
You can have everything else. Feanor's just keeping the 1 tooth.
Yeah, I don't need fangs specifically.
Yes, well, you know,
Yeah, but they're cool, like shark necklaces.
I was not going to use
Like-
this for a necklace.
Like,
That
have you not
seems,
seen my bling?
ill-
Feanor like
ill-advised.
pulls the cord, and you can see there's like a little chalky like thing on the end of it. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna add this one to the rest of my drip."
don't mind him, but Jessamine, you're welcome to any of the claws. I have no real need for them.
Okay.
I do believe we should keep the pelt though, because if
Oh,
we
yeah.
run into anyone who may know this specific warg itself, it seemed to be important. I think that it'd be good to
I
have
mean,
a little bit of something that can be identified.
I'm definitely going to be
Yeah.
keeping this pelt. I'm not sure what I'm going to turn it into yet, but
Well, we should like examine the bodies of all Feanor sees like the goblin that he like bashed at. He's like, we should check all their bodies and whatever gear we can take with us. We should. Maybe we can sell it. And if any of those wolves are still in any condition, we can perhaps get some pelts and some meat from them as well. But yeah, that's what Feanor's going to do. Just like, the general cleanup, and he's going to start piling all the bodies in like in a pile. Not right where we're sleeping, like a little bit further away, like up towards the direction where Theodric ran off to. But yeah, piling up there so that like in the morning we can burn them.
I am going to look for my dagger.
You find it without issue.
Oh, perfect. Lovely. Excellent. Superb. Okay. All right. I think we have all deserved a fantabulous meal after that.
And Valinith is gonna sit down as camp is being made and like the meals eaten and getting ready to sleep, and he's gonna kind of quiet himself and to the fire as he stares at it. He's gonna start singing an elvish song of healing. Nathu vae thidiag na chugi nathu long adubith benin hidithaga ma presetanen athanur. And basically, Valinith is going to take one. He's also going to give it to Nim, and then one other person who needs the most healing, you get 1 extra hit dice to use if you want to use a hit dice. It's a free hit dice that you just get plus your Constitution modifier.
I didn't take any. I took temporary damage, like from my temporary hit points.
Yeah,
So I'm still at full HP. I don't think
So-
Jessamine got hit.
I did
So
not.
I know
Feanor,
Baradarok
if you want
and
to take it.
it's Baradarok and Feanor who got hit.
Oh,
How much?
his brother.
How much health is Broderick on?
Baradarok is at half health.
Give it to him. I can just roll my normal hit dice, with my like con and everything. Like I'm still at 3/5 of my total HP.
Cool.
So
Well, then I guess Nim and Valinith and Baradarok will get the extra hit dice of healing. Where do we find our hit dice, by the way?
So your hit
What
dice,
is that?
if you look on your character sheet, it's going to be if you click on your health, I believe. I mean, your hit dice is basically 1d8 plus your level. So you have a number of hit dice equal to your level. So you have 3. I think for you 3d6.
So, and again, just as a thing, when do our hit dice refresh?
At Fellowship, or technically like the long rest if you rest for 24 hours in a sanctuary.
sanctuary, yeah. Nim just got
well,
sent
he's
back
just gonna
straight to full HP, by the way.
Sweet.
Very
So
cool.
thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Plus, is it plus level? 'Cause-
So it's
no.
a
Plus
hit dice plus
con.
your constitution.
But
Yeah.
you have
Oh.
a number
Yeah.
of them based on your level.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So be sparing if you do use hit dice on how many, because they have to last for the entirety of the adventure.
plus
Yeah.
con
The
stuff.
free hit dice that you get every single short rest is real nice. So that was real
actually-
nice.
Because I haven't had to do it a whole lot. How do you do your roll? How do you do the?
Technically, you would click on the short rest, but that
Yes,
I think
I'm just-
resets everything. So I would just roll whatever your hit dice are, however many you're doing, and then just add it to your current HP.
Rodrock is now at 16 out of 22 HP. So
Nice. There you
Very cool.
go. Almost
much
at
better.
14 out of 19, so that's good.
Okay,
Jess, during
seems like-
this campsite, were you planning on cooking a healing meal? Were you planning on just like kind of just generally cooking? What was the plan?
Yeah, I'm gonna use my dwarvish cooking pots and pans.
Perfect.
How
I'm
much
just trying to
HP?
decide what ingredients to use. I have to use the fish, otherwise it'll go off. So that's a given.
yeah, just
So what does this do? What does this thing?
Oh, don't worry, I'll explain it.
okay.
Yeah.
Just because
Um,
not many of us are at like
Very
best,
damaged.
but
Yeah.
yeah,
a lot
very
of, a lot of
damaged.
us.
yeah.
M's fully
Could
healed.
I-
Borok should nearly be roughly right.
Yeah, nearly.
I'm
Yeah.
only down 5 HP from my total, so
Okay, so. Okay.
I can't wait to get heavy armor.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah. So I'm just gonna do what I was going to do a day ago and cook a meal with fish and fruit, I guess.
Perfect.
Nice.
So
I
what's
like
the
that.
ratio going to be for that? So up to three ingredients you can select for that.
Oh, up to 3 ingredients. I thought it was only 2.
3 ingredients.
Okay.
I was gonna say use 2 pieces of meat, a fish, and 2 hot chilies. That's how you get the warm doublet.
Some lemon.
Okay. Oh yeah, it is 3.
This is Breath of the Wild cooking. I love.
I don't know.
Tasty
Can I
good.
use rations as well, or can you not mix fresh with?
You can't mix fresh. You could decide just to do the ration
that's what I
cooking, or you could do the fresh ingredients cooking.
That's
Could
okay.
we use some of the meat from the wolves, but
Yes.
not the warg? Because wolves are
Potentially.
just
you have
wolves,
to, you have to
right?
roll
Or
to
are
see
these?
how much you get from the
Okay.
wolves, but yeah.
yeah, I think that's probably the best option.
Okay, so
Alright.
so the normal wolves aren't touched by shadow like the warg
Probably
is,
not as
right?
bad.
I'm gonna
Okay,
have you make.
Let's
a
do that.
shadow-
Let's
wh-
roll to
whoever's-
see how much meat we can.
Oh,
we
One
can
person's
get from
leading
these
this
wolves.
as far
Hang on.
as
Shadow
scrapping
lore check?
everything clean. So there's going to be a couple of things. One is going to be a shadow lore check, and then the second one is going to be a survival check to see how much meat you get. So I need a shadow lore check and then a
Okay.
survival check. Who's doing this?
Okay, who's good at shadow lore?
Bad at
Balance
Valorant,
pretty good at it. Yeah, Balance pretty good.
Okay.
at shit.
and I've only
Pretty
got
good. Yeah.
+1 to survival,
I have +4 to survival, I believe.
so that'd probably be you and Valorant.
+3.
That's
Yeah.
a lot.
You and
That's a
Valorant.
14 for Shadow Lore.
Okay.
These wolves seem untouched by
Hmm.
shadow or any taint of which as such. It's not poisoned, the meat's clean.
Okay.
Theodric, are you doing the survival?
Yep, and that's a 16.
16, great. You're able to get, essentially, the meat comes by the pound. And so, Jess, it's basically one meat is like 1 pound of meat for that. And so you're able to get 6 pounds of meat.
Okay, sweet. And Theodric will kind of show that all to Jess and be like, "Here you go, cook's decision. What happens with it?"
Very nice. I think we should try and preserve at least some of this because I don't know about everyone else, but my rations are starting to run low.
I
You
agree.
can smoke it overnight without any actions if that's what you want to do.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
we'll smoke some of
That's
that overnight.
something. reasonable and manageable.
What's the bare minimum I need to do the cooking thing?
3 items. It can be repeat items.
Yeah, but like, oh, okay, repeat items.
Yeah, it can be
like a
repeat
pound
items.
of meat should be good, right?
So essentially, the way that it works for you, Jess, is if you pass your check in order to cook it, you roll a d4. And basically, based on the ingredients, I assign it a number, and then when you roll a 1, that's the effects that you get from that. If you want just the straight effect, it's basically all the same. For that, the good thing is if you roll 3 ingredients and you roll a 4, you can choose 2 effects, but it doesn't double up from the same type of ingredient.
Yeah, okay, got it. Yeah, so I'll use 1 lot of fish, 1 lot of meat, and some of the fruit that I have in this sack.
All right, go ahead.
Super mysterious.
Sleight of hand or a wisdom check for me.
Well, you know it's going to be sleight of hand.
Are you saying it's mysterious fruit to keep Villainous?
I got it at 20!
She's a hobbit,
Oh
so
my
it's just a
God.
hanging sack of fruit right there.
Because of
is
that,
what
I
it
will
is.
allow you to choose 2 effects. You can either have the effects of the meat, the fish, or the fruit. 2 of those.
It's lemon, isn't it? That's why you're hiding it, so Valineth doesn't cry.
What?
What? No, it's totally mushrooms.
Lemon! Oh! It burns.
Are you okay if I read out the effects, or do you want to keep those secret, Jess?
Hang on. Let me choose.
What's the secret ingredient? Oh, there is no secret ingredient. Oh, okay.
Feline.
It's really good soup.
It's just really, really good. Yeah, so I do like a baked fish with like, you know, there's really nice glazed fruits with it, and like just meat as a side.
Meat is the side.
It's an odd meal.
Oh, meat on a stick.
Okay, I want that. These are all really good. The fish definitely.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna roll.
You get 10 minutes of
as
water.
unbiased as possible.
You
So
can imagine.
evens it's meats, and odds it's fruit. Whoops, it rolled off the table. Okay, odds it's fruit. Oh no, I've changed my mind. I want it to be meat.
Okay, so meat and
Meat
fish.
and fish.
So
Like it.
all right.
Gotta get your red meat and your white meats in.
Yes, both.
Well,
Cool. So I will mark that off my equipment.
perfect. Do you want me to read the effects for everyone, or would you like to do so?
Hang on. Do I get rid of the entire sack of fruit?
So a sack of fruit, I believe it came with like a total of 6 fruits. I think what we said, it was like a certain number of like peaches and apples, right?
Yeah, I forget what you said.
Yeah, so we'll just say you have 6 fruit. You can get rid of 1 of them.
Okay, perfect.
It's just like using your rations charges, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, okay, cool. Okay, so I'll get rid of that, and I will add 5 wolf meats to my thing. Okay. So yeah, if you want to like.
Sure. So
Yeah,
essentially, the way that these dwarven pots and pans work is a certain number of times per adventure, she's able to cook prepared meals with fresh ingredients. And what that means is it provides additional effects to those who eat it. In the case of she selects 3 ingredients, they can be the same, but essentially she rolls after passing her sleight of hand check, successfully completing. She rolls a d4. On a 1, it's the ingredient 1. On a 2, it's ingredient 2. On a 3, it's ingredient 3. On 4, she can choose any 2. And you basically get these effects for the next 24 hours. So the effects that you got is for meat. Consuming a meal with fresh meat grants the consumer temporary hit points equal to their constitution modifier for the next 24 hours. So all
What
of
if you got a plus
gain,
0?
you get nothing.
Nice. Sweet.
So you get plus their constitution modifier, and then fish. A meal with fresh fish has a calming effect on the consumer. The consumer gains advantage on their next wisdom saving throw to resist fear, charm, or the effects of shadow for the next 24 hours.
It's pretty good, though.
Yeah,
Pretty darn
that's
good.
why I wanted to do it like the day prior, because I felt like we were gonna have to need it, but it didn't work out that way. But it's okay.
We may still need it, though, so it's okay.
Time is of the essence.
Yeah.
And so,
Okay, so how many
yes.
temporary hit points do we get?
Temporary hit points based off of your Constitution modifier.
Oh, okay.
As this is happening, Valinus pulling the arrowhead out of Theodric's butt and apologizing profusely.
I have 0 Constitution modifier.
Yep, you and me both, Jess. What if you had a minus
should've
1
gone
to
with
your
the
It,
con
three,
it
modifier?
maxes out at 0. Or not maxes out. It's a minimum of 0.
But if you had a minus
for
1
them
or
it maxed
2, then
out
you
at
just
0.
lose HP.
Yeah, for them it maxes out at 0. But
While this is all happening, Feanor is in the edges of the water washing himself. Just like,
Oh, yeah.
He's cleaning his clothes. They've got too much blood on them and stuff. So, yeah.
I might
he's just-
change that to 1 plus your Constitution modifier. I'm going to be nice, and I'm going to make that a call. Because, yeah, that's kind of dumb. So 1 plus your Constitution modifier.
Nice.
Yeah,
You
I
get
have 1 temporary hit point.
You and I both. High five. Bam. It's good stuff. 2 squishy dudes just doing their thing.
Yeah, just be in the squish.
And is that going to be your day, or does anyone have anything else that they want to do?
What was on the piece of paper, by the way, that Valinith handed over to Jess?
Good question. I look at it.
You look at it, and based off of this kind of half-charred crisp, I'm gonna have you make a investigation check on it.
Okay.
Jess.
Yes. 4. My luck has run
Nice.
out.
4. It doesn't look to be very useful. It looks like scribbles, and the vast majority, from what you can tell of whatever important stuff is on here, has been burnt. You can tell, though, on one very, very tiny corner, this looks like it was torn. It doesn't look like a complete piece of parchment. But it's
Can
pretty
Valinus
burnt.
spend the night just kind of looking it over or anything? Seeing if
Yeah.
he can find anything?
Sure.
It makes me think of the other piece of paper that I have. Can I like put them together to see if they?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can do that, and I would say for the night as you rest, that'll be kind of part of it, is trying to see if these 2 parchment pieces fit together or whatever the case. Valinith will make the check, but this could be an advantage just because you're helping with it. This could be an investigation check.
Investigation. Okay, that's not bad. Advantage. I'll take the first one. That's a 14.
You're able to look it over, try to piece this together. This thing is pretty far gone. You turn it over and you see that there are, there's not really writing on it, but you can see that there's a smudge. Upon closer investigation, you see that the smudge looks to be some kind of washed off imprint of a stamp. You know how like wax kind of leaves like a residue on paper, but with if it's been kind of taken off. Essentially, you see what looks to be it looks like a symbol. What languages do you know?
Valinith knows Quenya, Sindarin, and Westron. But he gets the general vibe of any language, just basic stuff.
Spoken or written? Is it just in general?
Just in general, as part of his scholar feat that he has.
Okay.
Cool.
And Jess, what languages do you know?
Tongues
I
of many
know
people.
common and thieves can't.
Nice. This isn't Thieves' Camp. This isn't any languages that either of you know. But Valinith, you recognize this as black speech.
Okay. So I don't know what it says,
You
but it's
have
black
no
speech.
idea what it says, but it's black speech.
Okay. And Valinith's like, by the Valar, this is black speech. And he just is like,
Okay.
may the power of the Valar compel you. And just,
I mean, okay. Black speech admittedly doesn't sound good. In case someone doesn't know, not me, obviously, but in case someone doesn't know, what exactly is black speech and why is it so concerning?
Black speech is the language spoken by the agents of Shadow, those from Mordor.
Do I know what Mordor is?
Chances are probably no.
Okay, and not me, but just like in case someone hypothetical doesn't know what Mordor is, or who, or
Um, how
where.
would how would you explain it, Valneth? Imagine an angel that is evil and had a bunch of other evil guys, and there's a kingdom down to like the southwest. Or is it southeast? No, southeast. Yeah.
Southwest,
Southeast.
southeast, yeah.
Yeah.
Southeast.
Down to the southeast, and they're all gathered there, and they have a language that they all speak. Like those goblins, their boss's boss. Yeah, would speak the black speech. Is
I
that
will
accurate enough,
say.
Valinus, or am I being a
Oh,
bit too
I mean, and then
blasé with
Valneth
that?
goes into a little bit of a history lesson about the battle that took place that ensued back in the Second Age, at the end of the Second Age of Isildur and the elves encountering Sauron, and talks about a little bit about that. And then he ends with a funny quip by saying, "Some would say that there's many a door in there, but I like to say that there's less doors there than more doors. I don't know why it's called the way it is."
Look,
I
the
see.
best way for me to sum it up is that Mordor is a burning, dust-covered hellscape full of orcs, trolls, goblins, and Valar knows what else. All we know
So
is
it's the opposite of the Shire.
correct, and one doesn't simply walk there. There's just it's evil. That's all you need to know. You don't go there.
Okay.
Yes. However, the leader, Sauron, back in the day, is no longer existent. Isildur slew him. So they don't have anyone to unite under.
Okay. Well, if random goblins in the woodland are carrying around notes, it seems kind of important. Do we know anyone good that will translate this for us?
My master Elrond could, but
Oh, perfect. We're heading in that direction anyway, right, Rivendell?
that is correct.
Sort of.
Wait, why can Elrond speak the black speech?
Well, he's as old as Middle Earth itself. He is well studied and well has a lot of knowledge in many of things. So
He's
of
one
course
of the
he can.
wise.
He is, yes.
Yes.
Cool.
And
Well,
also on the front side, you're able to make out basically squiggles and scrawls, and it doesn't make sense. It looks to be some kind of rushed schematics or something.
Checks out.
Okay.
Okay, so who's going to put the piece of parchment in their inventory so we don't forget?
Valneth can put it in his notebook. Just smack
Okay.
dab right there.
Perfect.
Yeah. It's all good.
And with that, you rest for the evening. Belly's full, hearts partially relieved, but also weary from your travel. You wake up the next morning to a bright sun. There's a little bit of drizzle in the evening as the thunderstorm passed over, leaving little more than just rumbling, but small little drizzle, kind of a little bit of relief. You wake up to the morning to find the blood-stained, scarred earth from the night before. And there's no sign of wolf or goblin anywhere to be found or anywhere to be seen. You pack up camp, you start heading north. My question to you is, does the group of you plan to continue at a fast pace, which is what you decide? I'll just use Feanor since he's the guide. You were about here. Meaning, if you go at double pace to the old ford, you can get there within the day, if you wish to do so.
How far from the ford is Rivendell? Which
Rivendell from the old ford. So the old ford is a essentially a kind of a steep hill, but also kind of like toll bridge crossing across the Anduin. It's kind of like a small little like natural fortress in itself. In order to get from there to Rivendell, if it was just flat land, it would be probably a 5 to 6 day trek. However, because of the mountains and because of the rough terrain, that probably turns into about another 3 or 4 days. So probably you're looking at about an 8-day trek from the old ford to Rivendell.
Okay, Feanor isn't gonna do the fast pace. He had been worried about things pursuing them, but we managed to take out a big number of that threat. And he thinks that people deserve a little bit of a break after the day that they just had.
Okay.
So it's just going to be normal pace for the next 2 days until we get there.
Yep, next 2 days. You continue onward, and as you do so, I'm gonna have Theodric. I'm gonna have you make a survival check for me.
Okie dokie.
Is this like
Within
2
the
days
24
later?
This is
whatever?
within the 24 hours.
Oh, okay,
So-
cool.
Survival
Yep.
on.
Let's
Yeah,
check.
there it is. That is a 21.
Cool. You're able to see around the Anduin that there, as you start making your way north, there are far more footprints, actually, that more of bears, than anything else. You're unable to see any immediately, but any trace of wolf or warg footprints is out of the question. You don't even see like boot prints or like feet prints at all. From what you can tell, you are absolutely safe. The day itself is relatively beautiful and fresh, especially after the day before. It's a wonder to behold that in such darkness and in such sorrow that Middle-earth can be so beautiful, untamed and wild, but it's hard to believe that there is evil that encroaches upon these relatively peaceful lands. You look out across the Anduin, and the Anduin's wide, so it probably spans a solid 60-ish feet across, at least at the point where you are at. It's rushing very heavily, and you can spot just up ahead there is a large waterfall that basically falls out and over the top down into your direction. You can see off in the distance the old ford is beginning to come into view. Jess, I'm going to have you make a perception check for me, or a stealth check.
You already know it's going to be stealth.
I do.
15.
You walk through the basically the undergrowth, and you scour the shoreline for anything that is useful, information, anything of the kind. You do pick up a few herbs though along the way. As you begin to kind of go upwards more into Wilderland, more wildflowers and just general vegetation seems to be more abundant, and so you do so. And with that, another day passes, another beautiful day, until you reach the old fort and you begin your climb upwards. I'm going to have you consume 2 charges of water, which you don't have to do because you're next to the Anduin, but also 2 charges of rations as well, as you make your way up the old ford and up to the makeshift. It's basically like cliffside toll gate. I'm going to have Jess, I'm going to have you make a perception check for me.
Okay.
And same with you, Valneth, actually.
Perception.
18.
18.
22.
The two of you, as you begin your ascent, you see kind of perched up on top of this cliffside, a single man. He's relatively large, but he does not look familiar to you. This is a new face.
I see.
How do you wish to, the group of you, this is a decision you can all make, how do you wish to approach the toll gate?
How do we want to do this? Because
I mean-
Feanor doesn't mind just approaching.
Yeah, bound
Like,
to,
I'm in favor of direct approach.
maybe we could hold, maybe Theodric could hold the warg pelt on his
Could
shoulder
be.
or something.
I think we just approach and pay the toll.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I'd say leave the
Oh, I
pub.
know
They
that
may
language
charge you
also,
more
yeah.
if they think that we're warriors passing through this land. So, Valneth, you've been around here more than I think any of us have. So,
True.
well, actually,
Valneth would
Jess, you
probably
would
be
have
familiar.
passed through this way.
Hmm?
Did you pass through this way on your way from the Shire out to these parts?
That's a good question. Did I?
You did. Yeah, you made your way across the toll bridge.
I did.
So I'll leave it to either of you. I haven't had the pleasure to go this far. Not this far
Well,
west.
we'll just approach and see what happens, I guess.
Mm. Real quick question for the War Master. Was the Beorning that I met here last time we came through, was his name Gauleon?
Yes, Golion.
Yep. Okay, just checking. Thank you. That seems like relevant
Right.
information right now.
Perfect.
I guess
you
yeah.
approach, and the man up top, you just casually, as if you are a caravan making your way through. I'm going to have all of you make performance checks for me.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I'm good at
Oh, I got a 16.
11.
12.
2.
Nice.
There it is.
Theodric, you are basically riding up atop a Barada Rock. Clearly you look like a warrior, but everybody else has disguised themselves. You can play that off as you wish with that information, but you did not get the memo of trying to remain subtle. But you hear a call from up on top of the cliffs, and there's kind of like this makeshift, almost barricade that is like made on like hinges carved into the rock before it opens out into this long stone bridge that goes over the top of the mountain, and this is on both sides of the river, so basically as to keep carts from making it all the way across and then being turned back around and having to turn around on the bridge. There's essentially on both sides. You pay the toll at the front based off of the information that you know, Jess. The man calls out to you, "Tell me, what is your purpose crossing the Anduin at the Old Ford?"
We're looking for a lost caravan that was supposed to come through this way.
Lost caravan. Can't say I've seen anything come through this way, and if so, they're most likely not lost. You see, this is the main road through here to the high pass all the way into Eriador, and you can make your way from this through Mirkwood all the way to the east, to the lands of Dale. Those who travel this road are not lost.
Oh yes, they never. We know they never passed through the old ford. They last we heard they were going through the. Is it Misty Mountains?
Yes. Jess, do you have the note?
Yeah, last we heard they were going
Right.
through the high pass. So we're on our way to search for them.
The high pass, that is under our watch and our domain, at least on the eastern side of the Misty Mountains. Cannot say that we have found any sign of a lost caravan, well, at least within the past few days. Past few weeks, of course, there's been a few stragglers here and there, but they just were people resting upon the side of the road. What more information could you tell me about this?
I could tell you that they are friends of the Beornings, and they belong to the Easterly Inn. You might have heard of it.
Easterly Inn. Can't say that
You're
I've heard of
friends
it.
with Bilbo Baggins.
Ah, that name I have heard of. He's friends with Bilbo
Well,
Baggins.
Well, sort of. I'm his cousin, actually.
Ah, I see. Are the rumors true? Is he quite as heroic as what they say, what the tales say, facing down the dragon? I'm only curious, of course. I've never met the Hobbit before.
He is quite unassuming.
slander.
What a
Is
shame.
that it? Well, I was waiting
Right,
for
I'm
a
thinking. Okay.
But more to your
he
point,
is quite unassuming. You don't get many Hobbit adventurers, so he caused quite a stir. But I would say he has quite the reputation, even among the Shire these days, being one for heroics.
Heroes. Heroes in these peaceful times. I've seen a hero or two cross the Old Ford, across the Anduin. Many of them I have not seen return. The days are growing darker. And just because the dragon is dead doesn't make the Wilderlin all the more safe. There's evil that lurks these riverlands, especially in the mountains of the Misty, especially in the foothills of the Misty Mountains, and even further in. Unfortunately, the longer we go from the Battle of the Five Armies, the more darkness creeps into the land. But again, I must ask of you, who are you, and what is your purpose? I'm assuming you are looking for these individuals that have not yet passed, but that does not excuse you from the toll if you wish to cross.
Now, how much is that toll? I haven't been in these parts, actually.
The toll is 1 silver penny per customer.
okay,
All right, that
that's
seems
quite
fair.
reasonable. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to have you... So we're going to actually start a mechanic in this game called an audience. If you're going to have someone represent you, they're going to do so by making a traditions check for your introductions. The introductions have been made, and because of that, I'm going to say Jess is going to be the one to roll this traditions check. Based off of your relationship with the Beornings, you are technically a unknown relationship, and so you don't get any bonuses or negatives in any way. So it's just going to be a flat traditions check.
Okie
You got this. I believe in you.
I have a -1 to this roll. Natural 20 for a total of 19.
He makes
That's what I
his
like to
way.
hear.
He makes his way down to the kind of down like a winding, like carved stone stair to the front gates. There's another Beorning that is with him. Again, this is a Beorning that is not familiar, and he does not speak. He stands tall with a great spear at his side, and he has a very heavily furred cloak at his back. Both of these men together are very intimidating presence, but the man makes his way down and says, "It seems up until this point you have been truthful with me, which leaves me, well, no reason not to trust you. Our prices are reasonable, but you do seem like good folk. Tell me, when you find this caravan, what do you plan to do? Do you plan to cross back over into our lands, or make your way westward?"
Well, we shall have to cross this way again, I think, if we are to escort the caravan to its final destination. The Easterly Inn is, and I'll I'd know the general area,
Yeah, absolutely.
where they are, where they are watched over by the noble hound Shadrach.
That's one of
Yes.
Beorn's boys, isn't he?
I believe so. He was he sort of turned up one day, and then, well, he's been very loyal. We would not seek to replace him. I don't think we could if we tried to. Not that we'd want to.
The ways of Beorn are mysterious, but he is the leader of our people. I'm going to have you just make an insight check for me.
Yes. Boop. That's so good. 13.
13. You can sense a hint of perhaps jealousy in his voice.
Okay.
My name is Osred. I was the original leader of the Beornings before they officially became the Beornings, uniting underneath Beorn. He's a great leader, but he's not much for diplomacy. He likes to keep to himself. I do not claim to seek power over him, for I am not as great as he. He is a hero to these lands. For me, simply a leader of the people and keeping them safe. We have set up this toll gate in order for the people to be able to grow and prosper. It is my people, the men of the northern mountains in the north, that have come down united under Beorn. We are not trying to be greedy by taking your money. Understand this. But
Oh, absolutely.
it does have a cost to be able to protect the High Pass. It requires both war gear and valor, and neither is cheap.
I would not dream of trying to haggle. Last time we were through here, we actually met with Galarin. He was very nice. I liked him.
Ah, good lad. Good lad.
Mm.
He's been in my care for quite some time, and he's grown big and strong. He's one of the few of the Beornings that I would trust as a personal guard to Beorn. You've met him before.
Well, you did a very good job with him. He's very sweet in his way, I suppose.
Good to hear. He is not on duty
Well-
today, but, again, this begs the question. You plan on coming back across here, and you plan on going searching for this lost caravan. If I might inquire something of you, you're clearly a band of companions from different walks of life. Meaning, chances are you have different perspectives on Wilderland, even more so than what we've had in these growing 5 years that we've been out here. Tell me, what news of you in your travels of Wilderland?
Well, from what we were able to discern, Wilderland is on the rise. They seek to build themselves, much as you and your tollgate. Let me see what news specifically.
Will the news
Lord
we
Hartfuss of Mountain Halls will probably be in contact with you at some point regarding these tolls. Yes, they seek to do more trading, and the tolls are having a negative impact on them. So you'll probably be reached out to at some point for some sort of diplomacy to see what can be managed.
I think just that's best for them to hash out amongst each other.
Oh yes, I'm just giving them a heads up.
Yeah.
we do also have wargs and goblins in your land. We encountered some,
Yes.
but not 2 nights ago.
Our companion here was actually able to finish off one of the beasts, like gesturing to Theodric, and like that with the pelt.
Make a deception check for me.
Is that deceptive?
Who?
Technically, Valnus
Natural
is the one to do
20.
it. And because
Oh,
you're
nat-
under the guise of Theodric being the warrior of the group.
Yeah.
But what was that?
Natural 20, negative 119.
You're fine.
So-
He looks to you and says, "Ah, impressive. You were assaulted by the evil, wicked creatures of the south, and you lived to tell the tale. Truly, you must be heroes in the making. And he looks to all of you.
Well, as Bilbo's cousin, it sort of runs in the family, doesn't it?
Yes, and
Hey, I can weaponize anything. Don't.
I love it because I know this is killing Jessamine.
Oh yes, absolutely. Every single second.
but yes,
She's just full on channeling her inner Dodie at the moment.
but no, the Wilderlands have been good to us, and it's good to see them prospering in the way that they are. Yes, especially being able to travel through the Woodman's territories and be able to visit all the different communities that have been safe with the help of the Bjornings themselves and the Woodsman's own efforts. But it has been nice. It's actually offered me I've been able to have the opportunity to come this way and pass by Rivendell and meet my kin over on this side. Never been this far west before.
And they are expanding too. We had the enormous privilege to watch as the East Bite was sworn in as one of their sort of community. It was an absolute
Yes.
joy. And their warriors are growing too, more each day.
It's good. It's good to see
persuasion check for me.
Yeah. It's good to see reliable people.
At advantage with everybody kind of pitching.
Yay!
It's good to see reliable people starting to fight back against the shadow. Really helps comfort you at night.
Well, I'm glad I had advantage. 13.
13. Indeed. Speaking of the tolls and bringing that up, we have had some problems with the Woodmen. They claim that the Gladden fields are too unsafe for them to be able to travel, yet those are their lands. They intend to cross through... Well, they intend to cross here. They have to pay the toll, and that comes with protection. They cross into our lands, and we allow this. It's simply a matter of, as I had mentioned, helping the Beornings prosper. We are not involved in many societies as we are relatively new. Beorn is still finding his feet as a leader, and there hasn't been much of an economy in the north.
Well, actually, that's probably one of those things that got brought up at the meeting with the Woodmen. They wanted, as one of the things of potentially getting cheaper tolls, they actually were going to approach you all about having a more effective set of trade, bringing you more metals and like lending their skills and such in exchange for stuff like pelts and meats and honey and stuff.
Yes, of course.
So yeah. So when they eventually do come to you to negotiate that, at least approach it with like an open mind. They're not asking for something without giving you something in return.
Of course.
And they seem to be the kind folk.
Oh yes. Bilbo associated with all sorts of wild and strange individuals, and no one thinks less of him for it. In fact, that only enhances his triumph, don't you think?
Triumph indeed. Well, at least legend has made its way around of the kind of person Bilbo is. Bilbo Baggins is not a name that gets thrown around lightly these days, especially those who are friends with Beorn. It is our duty to build relationships with kindred spirits. And he looks to you. You seem like an honest lot. Clearly you're able to hold yourselves in combat, helping us to rid the lands of orcs, or goblins, and wargs, and wolves. We will allow you to pass. Because you are friends, if not to the master, you're friends of the master. In cases, relatives. We will let you pass if you do plan on coming back through for 5 copper pieces apiece, with another 5 upon your return, making it 1 either way. 1 round trip. And with that, I will offer you some information as well.
That is very generous. Thank you.
And with that, I'm going to have you make your final audience check. This is going to be a traditions check or a performance check. And this is going to be made at +1.
It's gonna be performance. Flat roll. Okay, 7.
While you are out venturing the passes of the mountains, do know, please don't linger. As winter descends, as it begins to descend, autumn first, but as winter begins to descend, it becomes treacherous, near impassable. The lowlands themselves are not as safe as they once were. But there are a few places. If you wish to make your way to the High Pass, it's about a 3-day trek from here at this point. There are a few old ruins that are scattered throughout that we find are really decent places for refuge. We the Beornings use them to great degree when we're trying to hide from goblins at night. I will say, the closer you get to the mountains, though, make sure you keep a low profile. More and more dark creatures creep out from the dark places of the world, especially at night. There's an old ruin about a day and a half from here. That might be the best place to be able to rest and resupply. Because I like you, I give you this information. It is known to the Beornings as Elendil's Camp. This is a place of ancient memory. Us Beornings are not quite scholars in these types of things, but it has proven us shelter in the past. Use it if you see fit. But not much longer, about another day and a half past there, you will find yourself at the mouth of the pass. Valinith, you actually know this pass not so much as the High Pass, but it's something called Kirithforn and Ondroth, known in the Sindarin speak. It is quite dangerous, and this is the pass that you took to make your way over here. And the path that you actually took over was the path of the lowlands as well. One thing that you know of Valinith, and actually Jess, you know as well, is you were able to make your way through the lowlands completely unmolested as you crossed into Wilderland from the west. However, Valinith, the one thing that you know is information from your father, kind of a little bit of background, is the lowlands have only been safe within these past 5 years. Before that, it has been crawling with goblins, archers, and wicked evil things. Hence the reason Thorin and his company went on the High Pass, which is nothing more than just a narrow road that reaches up and above with few goblins. The chances of you dying are probably more likely to cold and snow than death. But now cold and snow than goblins. But now the lowlands are relatively safe, and they have been for quite some time. That is the path that is most commonly used these days. So that's something that you're keeping in. You just know.
In my noodle. I gotcha.
So
would I know anything about Elendil's Camp either as well?
Make a traditions check for me.
It's a natural 20 for 22.
You're familiar with this ruin. You had no idea that it was called Elendil's Camp, which does ring a bell, as Elendil was the last High King of Numenor. This does leave some kind of thoughts running through your mind about what it could be, but you are relatively familiar as you did travel this road on your way eastward. There was a small ruin that passed along by a river. Indeed, this is a good place to take shelter, as you did during your travels.
That was more of just like a if I knew where I was going, type of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Type of whatnot. Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
this is right on the main road. It actually passes right through the ruin, but it's pretty easy to miss, as this is right at the point where you start making your way kind of into the foothills area, and so it can easily blend in with stone, of like
Cool.
the mountains. So you know of this place.
Cool. Sounds good.
Now, you may pass, and if you would do us a favor, on your way back through these parts, if you are to find, well, if you are to find those you are looking for, tell us of what you see, tell us of what you find. It helps us to be able to keep these lands safer. If we know what we're up against, or the lack thereof, it keeps us on higher alert and more understanding. The Beornings are a large people, but we're small in number. We can't cover the land as much as we hope we could. Hopefully within the coming years we'll be able to grow and we'll be able to prosper and to be able to keep these paths safer. But in the meantime, we rely on news from what I can tell, trustworthy, reliable, and strong companions. Be careful. It is treacherous as you make your way up into those mountains. And he is going to take 5 copper from each of you.
Yeah, I'm gonna like thank him very, very earnestly. It is that.
Sorry. 10 copper make 1 silver.
Make 1 silver. Yep. That's
Okay.
correct.
Do you need Feanor to spot you?
Nah, I'm good. I was just wondering if that was
The conversion. Yep.
Yeah, that is the
conversion.
conversion, right? Yeah, and I'll give him all our names as well, just in case he wants them.
And he takes them graciously. May the road
Turns
go
into
ever
a
onward.
fake. Ah, got your names. No.
He bids you farewell. He bids you a very, very fond farewell. He's actually relatively pleasant, even if he is stern. May the road go ever onward and onward for each of you. We look forward to seeing your return. And with that, we're going to go ahead and end our session for the evening.
Yeah.
good session. Good session.
We
That
all
was great.
survived.
You guys
Okay,
survived.
okay.
That was...
Let me take a count because I don't think this is right. Did anyone roll a natural 1?
I mean,
Thankfully, no, I don't think I did
No.
that session.
Nope. I think I rolled 3 natural 20s today. In fact,
There were a lot of nat 20s today.
You
I rolled
absolutely-
freaking
okay.
well.
We had
I
a lot of
rolled
low
5
rolls.
natural 20s throughout the
Yeah.
entire night.
Does that count
Had a-
the I think I got 2 nat 20s on my rolls today. So
Look,
that's
No,
if
I don't count
7.
yours.
Yeah, yeah.
If I got a
Seven
dollar
natural
for
I
20s.
know
Don't
you
count
got
mine.
a
You don't need.
natural
You don't need to
one,
count mine.
on like a wisdom save or something.
Yeah.
I got a
but
dollar
no,
for every 6 that I rolled.
yeah. We
I'd
did a
have
lot of.
7
I will
dollars.
be counting
Yeah.
the 6s.
Yeah, a lot of low rolls this session, but no critical failures and a few critical successes. So that kind of helps even it out a little bit.
I mean, I don't know. I did manage a 0, so you know those aren't great either.
That's always fun.
Even if it's not nat.
Hey, Feanor's gotten like 4 of them in this campaign so far, so it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. You guys are gonna chat a little bit about your thoughts for tonight's session. Let's go ahead and
Yeah.
start with Dain. Thoughts? on
Yeah.
tonight?
It was really good session. I was really concerned, especially when all those goblins started showing up, and like the wolves were howling. They didn't realize how freaking little HP goblins had. I thought that captain was gonna have like 40 HP or something, but I'm glad that wasn't the case. It was.
He also got
it was
blown
also
up by fire too. I guess he didn't.
True.
He was already dead. But
True. I will also say though that it makes it very scary when we're not rolling well. I'm just at the very least happy that I was doing well, because the session last week I was rolling terribly. So I'm glad I rolled well today. And I think there was some really good opportunities to see combat again. I mean, it's been forever, I feel like, since we've seen combat. It was good to see Jess, her first time in combat, and what she can do. I didn't know she could use a bow, so that's cool. We got 2 ranged people, as well as she uses a dagger. Valineth also uses a dagger. He's probably not as good with the dagger, but he also uses one. And yeah, just overall, really like it. It's good every Wednesday. It's early for me, but it's a good opportunity for me to enjoy some Dungeons and Dragons in my favorite fantastical universe of Lord of the Rings. So I had a good time.
Yeah, it was pretty neat. You're very much, for those who don't know, the scholar is very much a healer. I guess you could build like an attacky type of healer, but yeah, no, 2 kills, including the ward kill. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I don't think I missed at all. Like I literally hit every single attack that I hit, and I think
Beatrix.
yeah, I know. And well, and I think I hit 4 times, and 2 of those were max damage. One of those was a crit, and then the other one or the other 2 were like, I think the lowest I got was 5, which is crazy. So it's a D6 plus 1 or something to hit. So it's like not even like that's that great, but I was hitting and I was doing high damage. So
Every bit
hopefully
of
I can
damage
continue.
helps.
It does, especially on Theodric's butt. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, it's good.
Sorry. Sorry about that.
Theodric, tonight's session, thoughts?
Tonight's session was good. I'm glad to have been able to do some combat again. I'm pretty stoked with how well we did. Like I was very scared for a bit for Nim's sake.
That was it, kind of.
And-
mostly it was those hits,
and-
those wolf
and-
bites.
Yeah, when that wolf took a bite out of Baradorok for half his HP, that was big. I was just like, I was pretty stoked with how well Baradorok did in combat though. Like he landed quite a few good hits, and was quite useful in getting Valineth over to Nim in time.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. A little frustrated that I rolled so badly on my wisdom save and went gallivanting off into the woods, but no harm, no foul.
Especially
yeah.
that last saving throw.
Right.
It's good. That was the important one. So it was good that you got that.
Yeah, it was annoying though, because when you were like, yeah, your wisdom save, I rolled another one, and it was like a 19, and you were like, from before, and I was like, oh, the 4, what was it, like a 6 or something at the time?
Yeah.
I was like, damn it, because I just rolled another one, and it was like a 17 or an 18.
Ooh.
But yeah, tonight was a good session. They're always good sessions, but yeah.
By the way, see you, Dain. Have a good one. Yeah, it was good. It was good. For sure. Any other thoughts? Is that it? Before moving on?
Oh, that's it from me. It was good. I loved getting back into combat.
Me too. Jess, your thoughts on tonight's session?
So I actually looked it up. Last time we had combat was in session 24.
Is that the Castle of Spiders?
Yeah, no, that was actually when Fëanor was running away from Savage Tula. Well,
so it was
running
his last
away.
combat.
Yeah, that was his last
Yeah.
combat, and then ours was even earlier.
Yeah, crazy.
So, you know what? I achieved my goal today. I had a character survive full bit of combat and didn't die. So already
Yes.
doing better than last time.
Exactly.
I'm having a
2 animal companions have gone unconscious though during the two of the most recent combats. So.
I think that if Rufus was there, then Nim wouldn't have died. Nearly.
Yeah, because Rufus would be
I think
dead.
he would have
Rufus would be a
definitely,
corpse.
turned the
Rufus
tide
is
of
like-
combat and no.
Get down, Mr. President! Jumps in the way of the wolf, instantly ripped in half.
Sounds like a
No,
very
no.
it sounds like a very Jalen thing.
What was off the top of his head? What was Rufus's armor class again?
12, I think.
I don't know.
That's the same as Nim's.
Why?
So
Why?
I'm just
why
saying
are
that
you
your
gonna- why are
dog
you gonna
was
say
squishy
things like
and he's
that?
happier. He's happier where he is.
You don't know
Uh,
that.
Yes,
No,
I
no.
do.
No, you don't.
she wants that dog to die. Come on.
We can go
Reverse
collect him,
John
and I
Wick.
will watch him die the first time we get into combat again.
You just mercy kill him.
No,
like, as
next
soon
time
as
you
it
go back,
starts.
he's gonna. Next time you go
No,
back,
that's what
he's
I-
gonna learn the power of flight. So
Oh yeah.
No one
then
will be
we
able
can
to
bring him
reach
back
him.
to the party. He
This
went
is
through
what
his
you get.
anime like
This is what you
time
get
skip
when you
training.
when you leave dogs places.
No.
Okay, they learn how to fly, and then they come, and then they get you.
they get the
Perfect
One
is
Punch
still
Man
in the
treatment.
negatives.
100, basically 5K every day, 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups. Rufus is gonna
Yep.
be a
I thought it was
beast.
when pigs fly. It's like a dog going across the sky.
That's not a pig.
Yep.
Anything else, Jess? Anything else to share? Thoughts?
Yeah, it was interesting, like getting a sort of audience type of thing with like this random dude. I definitely picked the wrong sort of ability for the cookware thing. I definitely sort of should have chosen the fruit. I will not be making that mistake again.
Okay, it's part of
Okay.
the process.
Yeah, it's
Cool.
just the process,
It's just the
learning
process.
process.
Exactly.
I'm saving the what is it called? The apple
Appleus. Yep.
something. Yeah, I'm saving that for a special occasion.
For sure.
That's gonna be good. Yeah. First combat thoroughly underwhelming. I was kind of annoyed that I couldn't hit anything or do much, but nah, we got through it.
Got through it, and you know, one of these days you'll have
Yeah.
the ability to hide and do treasure huntery stuff, as opposed to like being laid siege upon. You have to hold a torch, which basically doesn't allow you to hide at all. So it kind of went completely against your typical play style of a rogue.
Yeah. It was like a pros and cons thing, I think, because you don't need advantage on sneak attack if an enemy is within 5 feet of like an ally of you or something like that.
Right.
Wording. The problem was that I couldn't hit anything.
That is a problem.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It was a big
We all have those days, you know. So the
One
bad
day.
rolls.
One day I will get a sneak attack.
One day you'll get sneak attack, and one day you'll be the savior of the entire party, hopefully. So that's good. Hopefully that day will come.
Yeah, and one day I will outgrow the name Bill Baggins, but today is not that day.
I like how you also used him to your
To the advantage, yeah.
the name dropping. I love it.
Like
why not, right?
I mean, who called that? I think it was Feanor that name dropped him first, and then it was just like a
Yeah, he's friends with Bilbo.
okay.
Bilbo Baggins.
It was very much like a sigh and an eye roll, and I'm like, yeah. But then once like he responded to that, the freaking charlatan part of Jess's brains just took over, and she's like, well, I can use this, so
Yeah, absolutely.
let us pass. Stop interrogating us, please. My cousin's Bilbo. Pish posh.
And it kind of worked. So there you go. The rolls were in your favor for that, so that's good.
Oh my god! Like, yeah.
It's good. It was fun. It was fun to be able to see that from all sides of Jess. Kind of now we got like the full introduction to her as kind of a character and the type of things she could do. Maybe not the completeness of what she could do, but we now understand her a little bit more. Like Dain said, who knew that she had a bow and could use it? We did. The two of us did. I mean, but who else did?
Yeah, we definitely did. I don't know about like she can use it part because like based on examples, I don't know about that.
That was her first real life combat as far as we know. So that was just training wheels mode, right?
I don't know about that.
Well, you survived. That's important.
Yeah, that's better than Jalen managed to do. So
True.
You know what? I'm winning.
True. And finally, Feanor, what were your thoughts on today's session?
I had a ton of fun with it, and it was good being able to see like how effective I would be in a combat, surrounded by enemies, like the fire going out. It's like everyone's attacking me, like not an advantage, thankfully, but like still like just being able to absorb so many hits and like not be affected by it. It was great. Like being able to truly be like, guys, where is it? Why are you all over there fighting 2 guys? And I'm just surrounded by 4 enemies. But it's like still being able to enjoy it. There was like the fear Nim that first hit and knocked him to half health, like immediately. So Heart in the Throw gets knocked down, and I'm like, oh god, no. But I liked look, I knew it would probably have some consequences, but role playing out like the more rageful, like actually not just like in his battle focus, but actually getting angry and beating a goblin to death with his bare hands when he could have just killed it really quickly.
Oh yeah.
And like hunting them down as they're fleeing him. So no, it was good to like explore that side of him because he was like scared and angry, like scared for his friend and angry, and he could do something about it.
Oh, for sure.
And like the explosion, I thought that was great. I'm just like, okay, better use fire to my advantage once again. Throws them directly at my feet.
Yep. Just this explosion off in the middle. Fortunately, you're right by a river, so that helps just in case, you know.
I was hoping for that because like it's like, okay, it's wetlands more or less.
Yep.
The fire shouldn't spread too quickly. But you're like, yeah, they don't seem to have noticed the body, and I'm like, I know what I'm going to do. Time to light him on fire.
I did not expect that. Again, every single session I come into this, I'm just like, all right, this is generally how it's going to go. And then I'm like, that's creative. I'm enjoying this. This is a lot of fun. So
I like
it's good.
I like being able to solve it without just like, oh, I roll and I hit. I roll and I hit. Oh, I missed.
Right.
I rolled and I hit.
Yeah,
It was like I was able to approach it and actually go, okay, I'm going to use the stuff that's outside of direct combat, more or less like putting his like spear on his back and lighting a torch, hitting a goblin in the face with it. It's like, okay, like that, like when Jess moved away with the light and like Valineth and me were like, we're flanked. I'm like, oh no, this is gonna be so bad for us. We're not gonna be able to like, we're gonna get overwhelmed. So stopped like dealing damage, just lit his torch, knowing that I'd be able to outlast whatever damage they could do to me until someone else could help.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was actually, the one thing that I was a little bit sad on with the encounter is I didn't land a single attack with the warg against anybody. That's stupid AC.
You know what?
AC.
What goes around comes around.
I'm so glad I bought that shield for you and like gave it to you.
I'm so glad Valineth had friendly fire. At least a little bit. Just kidding.
No, look, it was incredibly funny, and that was his like critical hit, so that was like fun.
Oh yeah.
But no, being able to explore that and like the idea of not just like, you know, like Theodric gets like, he's very intimidating, he's very focused, he gets like lost in his battle rage, and we've seen that a few times. But the idea of like Fëanor looking up, his eyes like reflecting the light, like almost like the wolves and stuff are doing, like covered in blood, like that is not an image that like Theodric or Valineth have seen in his travels. And then to turn and that's like Jess right there, like also having just killed someone for the first time as well, like, you know, it's just like, it's just all culminated in, I feel like, a really good moment. Yes. And I definitely earned those points of shadow. I'm glad for it.
Oh yeah. No, it was one of those things where like I felt, even as like, you know, a combat is good, you know, a combat is fun when like there is stuff at stake, whether or not it's like a death or not. I mean, obviously you had Nim that was like on the brink of death and everyone's just like, shoot, we have to go save, like he's got like 2 successes, 2 failures, like, oh no, like we need to like stabilize him, otherwise Nim's gone. But also like kind of those role play moments where it's like, oh shoot, I don't want this like warg to get away, oh snap, like I'm lost in my own like battle fury, like what's going to happen, oh there's potential shadow that can happen here, like there's a lot of chaos in the battle. And then also things that like both Jess and Valineth are super good at medicine checks, but like stabilizing isn't a 100% thing. And so it's just there's a lot of like those key moments where it's just like my heart is racing, I'm sure your hearts are racing, and I'm like, oh, that was a good combat, it was a fun combat. So hopefully they're good. I guess boring combats
Yeah.
are probably a little bit easier to go through, but I agree with you on that. Like, it was really fun. It was very dynamic, and it was fun to see how you guys used the environments, the things that you had to your advantage, including fire. Yeah, again,
It's
in a
my
lot
it's
of
my good old faithful. By the end
Yeah.
of this, I'm gonna be a pyromaniac.
yeah, really.
You
Like
are already.
like literally, I'm
also-
just gonna always have like a lit Molotov in my back pocket. Uh, this is how it's gonna be. It's like I'm just gonna be like, yeah, I've been refining this stuff that's super ignitable, pouring it on
Mhm.
flame, like just like the
Mhm.
campfire. Yeah, propane and propane accessories. Just like
Yeah.
go full Hank Hill in this.
That's
If
Dragon
I can go
Smaug.
on a tangent slightly,
Yeah.
Yes.
I did hear that like fight scenes are to action movies what musical numbers should be to musicals, because it shouldn't just be like, oh, and they fight for 20 minutes. It should be like an actual progression of either the story or the characters.
Mhm.
And I think we did that pretty effectively.
I think so too. It was really a fun combat. I honestly I didn't expect it to be quite as challenging as it turned out to be with some of those like muffed rules. I was like, oh, this is not looking good, especially like when like Nim went down and like it was basically like a Valineth up against it. I'm like, I know Valineth's not the bulkiest person. And then yeah, just like having like those like key kills and like key things that you guys are doing to help survive. I mean, clearly Theodric, Jess, and you, Feanor, you weren't really at risk of dying at any point, but there were still stakes to be had within the fight. And so
Yes,
it was
definitely.
cool to be able to see that, and like maybe the combat lasted longer because of rules, but it also made it feel dynamic and fun. So like again, just as much as I enjoy setting up encounters, it's so fun to play them out with you. And to see how things actually work out. So yeah, it's a fun.
You know, it was definitely very fun. It was very very enjoyable to get in it. Personally, I very much like playing evil characters in D&D. So getting those little moments where you add gravitas. And like you just start being intimidating, and like the whole like lit by fire stabbing a dude through the chest, and then like saying like you're not getting away. Like I don't know, it just makes me happy, and maybe that's a little messed up.
It is, and you'll gain shadow for that slowly and slowly. You'll gotta learn to control that too, because you could eventually lose your character to it. So it's
Look,
one of those things in this. In
if
the
I go
mechanics in this
evil-
game. Yeah,
If I go evil, I at least want to do it in style.
yeah. There you go.
Oh
Absolutely.
man, you know what I want to do? This is now my life goal. I want to do a healing crystal heal on Theodric, and I want it to have like this really big impactful character moment.
And
It's
he's like,
gonna
"Oh,
happen. Just you wait. It's gonna happen.
Theodric, don't
Yeah.
take
There's
any
no use
don't take
fighting
any
it.
damage.
This is inevitable.
Don't take any damage, Theodric.
Thankfully, it's just been temporary temporary
True,
HP.
true. That's a good point. Oh my gosh.
Idric's patting himself down like, oh yeah, I'm great. I'm still good.
This shield, it's like pretty great.
Wonder how good it is for bashing in goblin
Like I said,
skulls.
just wait until I get my heavy armor.
Dangerous. Dangerous.
Kyle is going to have to create area of effects attacks just for you.
No, I'm gonna have
Just
to like create things that attack courage and not defense.
Mm.
What's
Yep.
that?
Intimidation. Roll a wisdom saving throw. Roll a wisdom save.
Yeah, wisdom save. Oh
See-
gosh, wisdom is not the
Oh.
party's strong suit. I've realized, just in general
Yeah,
across the
definitely
board.
I think Valineth has the highest wisdom out of us.
I think so too, but even still, it's not like super duper high. Actually, it could be. It could be. His intelligence
I mean-
is kind of middling. It's fine, but his like wisdom, I think, is pretty high. So, I think he's the only
Yeah.
one who would like actually like benefit to like a enemy like that. But
Yeah, just with the stats you gave me, like my wisdom and intelligence are just not great.
but you're sneaky as heck.
I am.
I mean, for someone who believes in crystal healing, it doesn't surprise me.
That's offensive.
Prove me wrong.
And so
Sure.
it continues.
I'll do it.
We're going to go ahead and end our session there, but first, a couple of things before we do end. Dain is continuing with the rest of his streams for the week. Thursday, basically today, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday, he's streaming at 2 p.m. Lies of P, and then also on Saturday, potentially, he'll be finishing some Pokemon. But he will be dressing up in his Halloween costume as he's been doing this entirety of October. And he will do so until Halloween, so that should be fun. On Saturday at 10:30 a.m. JST, so the eastern side of the world, we have Everlast, so our next session of Everlast, and they are in a combat as well, so we'll see how that goes, and hopefully it's as dynamic, as fun, as successful as this one was. But join us for that. It should be fun at 10:30 a.m. JST. And then also we have a sponsor here, Daisnaki, their Japanese sweets and luxury treats company. They have a number of boxes from the omakase box, which is a popular Japanese snacks. Their omakase looks box, which is traditional Japanese snacks, and then character goods is in their kawaii box. They also have a seasonal box that's going on right now that is Halloween themed, which is super cool. They have like 2 options for it, which is like more of like a general fall theme, but then they have like a trick or treat candy theme where you can get big bags of Japanese candy, individually wrapped ones, if you want to use it for trick or treating, whatever the case. So they have that going on right now. If you do order from them, that's until the 31st, I think, through October. But if you do order from them and say that Fantasy Forge sent you at checkout, it does help the channel out. And if you say your Twitch name, you'll get basically raffle tickets towards a free box giveaway, which we shall be having probably pretty soon here in the future once we reach our referral limit. But that is it. That is all for tonight. Thank you all for my players. You guys are amazing. And until then, I will go ahead and leave you all there. I will see you this weekend for Everlast, and see you, the rest of you, next week for some more Adventures of Middle-earth. I'm Kyle, Fantasy Forge Studios, and may the road go ever onward and onward. Bye, guys. Have a good one.